What's going on, everyone? This is Chris.
Martin.
Eric.
And we're three drunks on a tangent. So we're here to talk to you today about the Acolyte. And we saw the first two episodes, so we're going to give our thoughts on that. But before that, just so, because I know Star Wars in general has been divisive, you know, the old and the new, and how people feel towards that. So I just want to get a general sense of what everybody's feelings were as far as the older George Lucas, the newer Disney, some of the shows. Like I've seen most of the shows except for Andor is the only one I haven't seen, which evidently is, I'm hearing, is the best one that's come out recently of the Disney TV shows.
It is the best one, period.
Yeah, or at least best story.
Story, yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't rely on special effects. You don't even see Jedi.
Yeah.
Mando's
cool, but...
Is it Mando? Was it Mando or Andor that has the guy with the cane? That was Andor.
That was Andor.
So possibly a Jedi.
No, the guy with the cane, isn't that this? No, that's not the same guy.
Theory is that might actually be a former Jedi, which is, he just kind of deviated off. That's why if you look at his cane, it looks a lot like a saber.
Oh, okay.
So there's stuff floating around about that, and he's got kind of like the same gift as Palpatine, where he can see politics. He can kind of like maneuver and weave stories. I know we're going off on a tangent, but
yeah,
I really like that story.
That's what we do.
Oh, yeah, true. And the title.
But for me, love the George Lucas ones as far as at least the original trilogy. The prequels, there were moments that I liked in them. Revenge of the Sith, definitely liked. Clone Wars, I think that was the second one. That one was okay. Phantom Menace, I really enjoyed the ending with the Darth Maul, Obi-Wan,
that was the only good thing about the whole movie. That was Darth Maul and fighting.
The flash in the pan.
Yeah.
Oh, what a wasted character.
I was so disappointed.
Qui-Gon Jinn?
Well, that also. Two just stellar characters. Just.
Great character work. And then as far as the sequel trilogy, I like The Force Awakens. I thought there was a lot of potential at the end of that one. But then, I don't know if it was just having too many directors. When they switched directors, they had no plan planned out.
Rian Johnson took whatever J.J. Abrams had and went, I could do my own thing. And it was like, none of this goes anywhere now.
Yeah.
You piece of shit. Why did you do this?
And then they had to keep restarting.
Yeah,
it was basically like, well, I want to form it this way. Well, I guess I'm going to make like another, origins type story, but like with some of the stuff, I guess, from episode, what is that, 4, 5, 6, so 7?
Yeah.
It's like, I'll carry over some of 7 stuff because I have to, because people want a continual story.
Yeah. So the final one was just trying to retcon what the second one did, and it all went to crap.
I always thought that like if the second one had been broken into 2 parts so that he could tell a full story, it probably would, because Abrams is a good director and writer.
Yeah. I don't know about writer, but yes, I agree with the director.
Everybody loved Lost, goddammit.
Abrams is good at setting up a mystery, but it seems like on a lot of his shows, movies, things like, he doesn't know how to finish, though. That's the only thing he can't do. And he's even admitted as much, saying like, yeah, I can come up with the ideas, I can get the mystery, but then when it comes to closing everything out, he has trouble kind of giving a satisfying ending to all of that.
But I think that's why he only set it up. And then after that, he was like, all right. And then he's like, what the fuck did you do?
Carry it to the end, please.
He gave it to somebody else to finish it. And they were like, and he was like, nah, fuck your ideas. I'm going this way.
4, 5, and 6 always have special place in my heart, only because like the effects were amazing. And I'm at that age where I got to see at least 5 and 6 on theaters. So those always had because it was great story and it was great effects.
Because they would re-release them in the theaters when we were like children.
Yeah, well, no, I actually got to see Empire Strikes Back when it came out in the theaters twice, and then Return of the Jedi, I got to see that one also.
I saw that one in the theater when it released, like in what, 83, 84?
Yeah, as Star Wars, I got to see as a re-release, but that one was in the movie, or not even a movie theater, drive-in. That's how old I am.
Bunch of old motherfuckers.
Yeah. But those will always have a special place, only because it was a great story, and the effects were awesome for the time. And then when the prequels came, the 1, 2, and 3, the story wasn't quite there, but the effects were just never. That was like my childhood dream. All those lightsabers, I was like, yes. And then just the choreographed fight scenes
The choreographed fight scenes were
The fightings were better. The fight scenes were definitely better in the prequels. Like the original had the story. I think the original tied everything together better, but the prequels definitely. They had the choreography. They had the fight scenes. I mean, Anakin, Obi-Wan in that final one, Revenge of the Sith. That was epic. I love that one. That's one of my favorite fights.
You mean Obi-Wan and Darth Vader like trying to poke each other's eye out? Huh? Yeah. That scene, I mean, when I was a kid, that was amazing. But then, I mean, I grew up, and then I was just like, oh wow. I guess compared to 1, 2, and 3, those were pretty lame.
I mean, if you want to skip around, and on the shows and just like skip through a bunch of stuff and just go to the very last episode, the Obi-Wan show.
Yeah.
Just go to the very last episode and watch that fight scene. That fight scene was
of the TV shows. Yeah, Obi-Wan.
Epic.
I really didn't care for a lot of it until it got to the end, and then you get to that final fight scene between Anakin or Darth Vader at this point and Obi-Wan. So like that one. For season 1 and 2 of The Mandalorian, loved it. Season 3 I wasn't as big on.
Yeah.
I think them taking
they did the
Grogu away and then bringing him back, where I think it would have been better for him to be away for a while, let Mando do his own thing, and then if you want to bring him back. Bring him back as a powerful Jedi, something like that, something to help out. That'd be great. But I wasn't a fan of bringing him back. And not to mention that they brought him back in the middle of Boba Fett's story.
Well, like Boba Fett, I don't know what the deal was. All of a sudden, it's like, well, this isn't going anywhere. Get the Mando back.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let's bring some ratings in.
It's like Boba Fett was basically like Mandalorian season 2.5. You know, just like what happened in between. And I don't know, Boba Fett I wasn't a fan of until they brought Mando in at the end.
All I know is Mandalorian season 3. I mean, Pedro Pascal must have just been like, hell yeah. You mean I only have to be in like a third of this show? Sign me up. Give me the free money. Because it just...
Well, I mean, come on, guys. I can't really be here all the time because... I got to do this other show, The Last of Us. You know,
got The Last of Us going. I've got what was that Nick Cage movie?
I got that Nick Cage thing.
The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. I think.
Yeah. That was such a good movie.
That was a great movie.
I love that movie. But then there was Obi-Wan, like I said, at the end. Mandalorian. I like the first 2 seasons of that. I just saw Ahsoka because I wanted to make sure I was caught up with all the series.
Yeah.
I wasn't as high on Ahsoka.
You have to know the character. You had to have seen Rebels to be excited for it.
I haven't seen Rebels. So.
And then the way it ended for me, I was like, dude, because I've seen Rebels, and I was like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I mean, the whole time she was under the ocean, it was like just a lot of fan service. I think that was the best part of the series because it was just like, I know where they are. Oh, I know that clone. I know I know where they are. Well, and then Anakin showed up, and I mean, come on.
I'll give it to Hayden Christensen. He can still do it with a lightsaber, man. Yeah. Because, no offense to Ahsoka, but she was a little slow, it just didn't feel as good as some of the other people you see fighting like that. But Hayden Christensen, when he came in, man, he could bring it, and he still could do the behind the back swing and everything. Yeah. You know?
You got to also remember Rosario was older. Mm-hmm. But
yeah, she's our age.
But you got Trinity exactly. Like
Carrie-Anne Moss.
Yeah, I mean,
oh my lord.
For this show, that first opening scene on Acolyte, I didn't see the same kind of sloppy, slow movement that I saw in the Ahsoka at all. Because Rosario Dawson, I really like her, but I don't know I just did not see Ahsoka in there. I mean,
she looks like Ahsoka.
The tails were a little messed up, or on her head. But I mean, the character, yes, but just like the fighting, I was just like, where's the spirit? Where's the awesomeness? Instead of just like that. The one highlight was like that fight on the docks or whatever, where she was like, "Well, yeah, I'm gonna very slowly turn around." It was like watching Marcus Allen. You knew the spin move was coming. And it was like the slowest thing in the world. Is whoa!
But you couldn't stop it.
But you couldn't
stop it. Yeah, you knew it was coming. It was slow as hell. But you were just so awestricken that are they really? Is that they're doing that? Oh crap! I fell for it.
You got by me.
Oh, son of a bitch.
But let's just start with so now we've kind of gone through how we feel about all these shows. So collectively, now we're moving to the Acolyte. First 2 episodes. how are you guys feeling so far with what you've seen?
We'll go there because I know he's got the hot take here.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I mean, I liked it.
You liked it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I like the fight scenes. I mean, I dig the story. I wonder where it's going because it's the first 2 episodes.
Yeah. And we'll get into it a little bit later because I think dialogue and the acting, you mentioned something, we texted about it, and then you made it a point, and I agree with some of which I think would make it difficult, I think, too, to kind of bring to acting. I'll talk to that in a minute. But Martin, what did you think about Acolyte overall here?
So overall, not too impressed. It was very slow. I don't know. Like, if you guys saw or listened to the last episode, I was talking about like X-Men '97, where I was like, you suspend disbelief, and then they ask for you to do it again, and then again, and then again, and at some point you're just like, okay, so when does this become just ridiculous? I mean, you just have to suspend so much. But same thing with X-Men '97. There was a lot of negative hype on this one. And I was surprised to see that there wasn't too much of the, well, at least I didn't see too much like LGBTQ plus like representation in there. I did see a great diverse cast, which I had no problem with. I thought it was good seeing.
Thought they did good.
A good mix in there. Although, from what I understand, episode 3 might change.
Well,
that
yeah,
statement.
and when that happens,
but I haven't seen it yet, so when it comes, we'll talk about it. But as of right now, episodes 1 and 2. I think I've only heard it just mentioned once, and that was just when they were like, your mother's and sister. And I was like, okay, I don't mind that. It was like, okay, it's not like it was throwing it in your face. It was mentioned in a commentate or in a conversation, so it actually had a flow. Although that whole scene could have been, and
none of that's honestly none of that stuff even really matters. I don't think to any of us, as long as you're telling a good story.
Yeah, if it ties in and it's like there's a reason for it, or I guess it doesn't really have to be a reason. It's just as long as it feels natural. Like it's not like forced, where it's just like, oh yes, and by the way, my horribly oppressed mothers who trudged through the snow both ways uphill for.
Yeah, but how do you introduce it at all then? I mean, without someone just turning around being like, oh, there they are doing it again, throwing it in our face.
There's always going to be someone that's going to be doing that because, you know,
trust me, I work with a bunch of them.
I've seen a lot of, you know, reviews on Ahsoka, and a lot of them are very like, oh my god, it's the gayest Star Wars ever, da da da, and I'm like, at this point at least, I don't see it.
There wasn't even anybody gay in the damn show.
There's actually an interview from The Wrap saying that actually this show is the gayest ever, but it was meant as a positive. They were talking to Leslie Headland, who's known, you know, homosexual. You know, her wife is, I think, cast onto the show, and then the main actress on this, Amanda Stenberg, is non-binary, and I believe she does a lot of representation stuff for the LGBTQ.
Yeah, she plays Vernestra, the green person, the green Jedi.
Which
the heavy, that's got to be kind of weird when you're like, okay, honey, I want you to go ahead and play this Green Jedi. By the way, people probably aren't gonna like you because you have some real crap-tastic takes in the show. Like, I don't mean to jump ahead, but there's in episode 2 where it's like, let's take action. Wait.
You have to come back and discuss.
The council needs to discuss.
Yeah.
I mean, true, if you were to take action now, probably save us a big headache. But much like, you know,
there is order and rules to these things.
Like current politics, we need to talk about it first. We're not going to do anything until like it gets way out of hand. But that kind of seems like the theme, I guess, for a lot of these current like Star Wars movies or shows. Not so much the movies, but the shows.
No, the movies too. Think about it.
But,
one, 2, and 3 are basically a political fucking like.
Yeah, true that. Also,
a political drama with with laser swords. I mean.
And then also the last one, or the one where Leia dies, where it's just like, I've got a plan. I'm not going to tell you about it.
Oh, yeah, that was one of
But
the
I got a plan. Don't worry. I'm just going to wait till you commit treason, and then I'll be like, oh, yeah, no, I had a plan all along.
Yeah, everybody's secretly sneaking away over here down to that planet.
I was just keeping you in the dark because we had to talk about it. Although they didn't say
we didn't trust you for some reason, even though you blew up the whatever Death Star or Omega or whatever it was. But my overall thoughts on it. Now I went back. I watched this. I think about 3 times. 3 times, at least episode 1 3 times, episode 2. Story-wise, I'm not interested, at least not yet. They haven't hooked me in. There are some interesting elements, and I don't know if it's just the delivery, but as far as character-wise, I don't really have someone I'm really drawn to. If anyone, maybe Soul.
That's what I'm drawn to.
Yeah.
I think he's the only guiding light in this whole thing, and that's just the whole story of him learning English in, what'd you say, in like a month?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's got the most character out of anybody.
Well, not to mention that, I gotta hand it to him. That's ballsy, man. Like, he does not know.
He does
not know the language, and he has a lot of speaking lines in this. He is very prominent character in the show. Be like, this is my first show. You know, no English.
And, he might be the best actor on the show too.
Yeah, he is.
Well, I think he is. He's the silver lining in this whole thing. He's the only one that I actually see like acting and not just reading off the teleprompter.
He has it's like he has the subtleness in his face when he says things. He'll see his head kind of downtrodden when he's thinking about a particular moment, or he'll speak with something and
the eyes. He's got the Eric eyes where he's just kind of deep set. Read the emotion, like
But yeah, he knows how to emote. He knows how to act. He knows how to use more than just his voice to do the acting. Well, especially because English is a challenge for him, and coming in here, the best way for him to be expressive is to show it with his body.
And the main character in a big show like Star Wars, you gotta have some sort of pressure.
Technically, is the exact opposite of being a Jedi, because he's showing a lot of emotion.
Right. But there are like subtle nuances, details like that. Because when you look at like a character like Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan Kenobi, so this is what I was thinking too. Because Eric and I took it, and I'm like, man, this is boring. He's like, well, they're Jedi. They're not supposed to have emotion, which is like, you know what? That makes sense, and that makes it difficult, but there's certain nuances.
Yeah, but they're not Vulcans. I mean, they have emotions.
They practically are.
It's not like...
Think about it like Mason, think about Mace Windu before he decides to go, motherfucker, I'm going to kill you with this purple sword.
Oh, yeah, but it's supposed to be like a calm demeanor. It doesn't mean that they're emotionless voids of, shucks of humans. It's basically like, hey, I keep my emotions in check.
Except for Yoda, the whole Jedi Council seemed like emotional shucks of humans. And Qui-Gon.
Well, I was going to say, but when you look at the those are the best examples for me is the prequel trilogy. Because you had Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I think what could help is young Padawan, who's still learning, who still maybe has emotions, things like that, kind of brings it to. This one works in a different kind of dynamic, and we'll get into that when we kind of get into the episode breakdown. We'll kind of go over the characters, what's going on, but...
Actually, Daphne Keen's character made me laugh too, though.
Which one?
Daphne Keen's character.
The Padawan?
Oh, the Padawan?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
She's adorable. She's a double-edged sword for me. She has that, but then also she just...
disrespectful.
Just anything that just...
But that plays on this other character, Yord.
Yord,
which Yord is... I don't know how to judge him, because when he comes in, he's a Jedi Knight, and when he meets this other character, they're almost like surprised, like, oh, you're finally a knight? Like, I didn't think that would ever happen.
Well,
like,
and he's like,
almost
for 2 years. And it's like, well, you're 2 years a knight, and you're still acting like this?
Getting all jumpy. I get you. Well, and we'll go into that more. But overall, characters, I don't think there's strong enough character development yet.
But yeah, it's only 2 episodes.
But like I said,
unfortunately, this could be a slow burn.
I will give it more time to develop. I'll give it more time to kind of digest, and hopefully something comes up. Now, I think there are some good story elements here that are interesting. At first, I was kind of turned off by them.
Possible story elements.
With the Jedi being in this one, it almost seems like the Jedi are
this is the
almost like they do the High Republic. This is the High Republic era. This is
not the Old Republic, right? This is
the High Republic. So this is like the last era of I guess towards the end of their peace. It's about 100 years before the prequels is when this is supposed to be taking place. And like I said, I think they just need a little more time to, like I said, so far, no characters are jumping out at me. The action, I do like the action on the show. That has been a highlight for me so far.
So it's Darth Raven that I guess would be the Sith Lord for the...
Yeah, possibly, which ties into LOTOR.
Well, and you got to remember, on some of these...
KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic.
And some of these shows, they're not necessarily bringing in the characters exactly from the, even though I think that Venestra, the green one, she's actually supposed to be like the best Jedi ever, like all sorts of abilities, talents, all that. Like from since a young age, she's been able to do everything. But overall, in my sense of it, I need more, because right now it hasn't given me enough to really get me interested into the show.
From what I said
I'll
about
pop it up now only because of Knights of the Old Republic. What's the name of the director?
Dave Filoni?
No, Leslie Headland?
Leslie Headland. So she also, I mean, I guess maybe she's pulling from Knights of the Old Republic, because if it is Raven, there's also reports that she wants to do a Knights of the Old Republic, and she really wants to center around the blind Jedi.
Oh, I think you're thinking of Revan. Revan was from the Old Republic.
Is that what it is?
Raven is a different one.
Raven is a different one. Raven's from the High. From
okay.
High Republic.
High Republic.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Didn't.
Yeah.
No. You're good. You're good.
My bad.
No, and
I just skim what do they call them, synopsis. So I know what's
Cliff Notes.
Cliff Notes from the when people go bitching online, I'm like, let me look this thing up.
Hold on.
Well, and for me, it's
that's not what this says.
The problem for me, one of the things is, I guess in the world, the sense of time is off, which is really throwing me off.
Yeah.
And it's only because either they're not explaining things, which I've come to some conclusions to kind of maybe bust some of the things that I'm hearing out there.
What do you mean?
We'll go over that.
When we go to the episode breakdown,
I'll get into it more. But and we can get into that now. But that's pretty much my thoughts on it. I need to see more, because it hasn't gotten enough to me to be like, man, I love this show, or I even like it. I'm just kind of like,
honestly, I think this is like a show that's supposed to be for like expanded universe people.
Maybe.
It is
because I think that's one of the things that Dave Filoni's been trying to do is include.
Which is funny, because
the expanded universe.
As soon as Disney took over, they're like, no, we're getting rid of the expanded universe. We don't want that. And then all of a sudden they run out of ideas, and they're like, oh, you know what?
It was Dave the Clone Wars producer. He's the one. He's
there's 1,000 years worth of stuff we could tap into.
He's like him and what's his name, Jon Favreau.
Favreau.
Yeah.
So to wrap up characters, I mean, nothing really jumps out at me.
Yord is boring.
Yord's a bitch. Incompetent comes to mind.
Yeah.
Yord's pretty boring.
Stereotypical trigger. Well, I'll cover it when he gets introduced. There's something.
Yeah, because we're going to go to the episode breakdowns.
That I think that they might be going.
There's going to be spoilers in the next session when we're done with this.
Yeah.
So. But yeah,
character-wise, nothing really jumps out.
It's the first 2 episodes, though. How much can we spoil?
Yeah. Well, and I think that was part of the problem is on this story, so spoilers now, they introduce it with almost like a mystery element, and then they give you what that mystery was, or at least part of the mystery, at the end of the first episode. And I'm like, maybe you could have drawn that in more. Maybe you could have let the curiosity kind of, percolate a little more. Here are my thoughts on because
honestly, when they
So it starts off where it's basically, hey, there's a cantina open scene, and then you've got what's Trinity's name in this one?
Indara.
Yeah. So you've got Indara hanging out with some buds at a table, and then this bratty girl comes up and is like, "Attack me with all your power."
That was a little cringe coming up for me for that one.
And yeah, I mean, despite the creepy beginning, it was like, okay, well, that's kind of cheesy. Let's see where it goes from here. And then it blows up into this full-blown fight, and not much is really revealed. Yeah, so there is a scene where Indara, when she's engaging with this assassin that she assumes, well, I guess they don't really say it's an assassin yet, but she makes a report where she's like, Force-sensitive user.
It's in the marketing. Everybody knows it's an assassin, so that much is clear.
But how does she know? Yeah, all we know is it could be some bratty little kid trying to
start some shit.
Yeah, start some schmack, or what do they call it? Native Americans. Basically,
you'd have to ask my dad.
It was basically Native Americans would have this thing to show bravery. You'd get as absolutely close to your opponent as possible, and just to show you're brave, you would touch their horse or whatever. And anyways, just to prove your bravery. But the fight breaks out, and then you get into this nice sequence, which I thought the fighting was well choreographed.
I like the fighting. I've seen other people say it was overly choreographed. Me, I enjoyed it.
Overly choreographed. I can't stand people. God,
this action flick just had too much action. Can we tone back the action?
Look, and then it's like she fights, and not only that, she fights and she uses like force power. You can tell because she's like kicking people through doors. She's like kicking tables at people.
Well, and Indara recognizes it right away. She makes a report. There's a force user that's come in here. I don't know who she's talking to because no one showed up to help.
Yeah.
Talk about talking into the void. It's like, hey, help!
So the fight goes well. You know, this assassin's trying to hurt. Well, first of all, the assassin beats
first of all, she's a Jedi Master, so they're probably like, okay,
she's got it. Oh, a force user, yeah. You're a master, so I mean, dude, how hard can this be?
So some of the issues that I had though was that the Jedi Master watched this assassin start beat the crap out of everyone before getting up and finally like, oh, okay, I guess I better help you guys out.
It's like, wow, he really took that hit well, man.
Man.
Sucks to be that guy.
Unless you want to go with Carrie-Ann Moss or
Indara.
Indara was like, hey, I'm just studying your moveset to see what you're doing, but
no, I'm pretty sure she was like not taking her seriously at all.
Well, I mean, that could...
I get that, but when you start like kicking people through walls, you're like kicking, before she even starts kicking tables, she's like putting people down and taking them down. At that point, you're a peacemaker. At this point, No,
at that point, she was like, oh, this person's using force.
Yeah, and she's shown it and they even show it because when she tries to stab her a few times, because this person's pretty much fighting her without a weapon until later on in the fight, pull out daggers, and when they do, Indara is able to force freeze her so she can't get that.
Just look at Trinity doing some Trinity shit.
False freeze! False freeze! False freeze!
I was like, it's the Matrix.
Dude, yeah, I mean, I liked how she wasn't trying to engage. She was just kind of like, okay, yeah. Huh? You're trying to kill me.
See, but the part where she dies, though, that felt a little weak for me, though. That was a little... I would have liked to seen something, because earlier in the fight, this assassin's going around, she's like throwing people, like she takes somebody on the second level, tries like throwing them to the ground. Jedi Knight has to like, hold them up from the ground, keep them from hitting the ground. Yeah. Or, I'm sorry, Indora. Yeah, has to like keep from holding them on the ground, like earlier in the fight. So with more people in the bar, I would have liked to see, because the way it happens in this assassin, they both look at each other, then they look at somebody who just, one straggler who has to be left in the bar.
Oh yeah,
the assassin looks...
The bartender can't like fucking...
Leave his post.
The bartender never dies.
Maybe that was his thought. He watched too much Cheech Marin. He's like, yeah, no.
Well, but for me, it's like, they both look back at each other. You almost see the assassin get the look on her face like, I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna do it.
And then the freaking Carrie-Ann Moss was like, oh, and turns her entire attention away to stop the dagger, and then a second dagger flies, hits her in the heart, proving that daggers are more dangerous than lightsabers in Star Wars.
Well, technically they're not, but sure, her force.
No, according to this, it is.
Her force ability, like, probably makes the dagger fly a little faster than what it's supposed to.
Yeah, but she doesn't fly. She just stabs her. Boop.
No, but she throws it. You get the idea. We've had a few people now who've gotten impaled by lightsabers, and
she's too far away. She throws it. She throws it straight at her chest too. So.
Right, but at this point, she can't force push the dagger. She can't freeze it. She can't. First of all, she had enough time to react to stop her, because she stopped her earlier when she tried stabbing her in the face. When she sees her turn to throw it to the person, she could have frozen her like she did earlier in it, or even push her back, get the dagger out of her hand, and defend herself. It's just real hard for me to see a Jedi Master doing like a rookie mistake of like, oh, I'm going to put my complete attention over here, not look at you here.
Why would I look at the person I'm fighting?
She's a human, hoarding 100 years of peace, man. What do you want?
So you're saying that 100 years made her soft?
Look.
Imagine it would anybody, to be honest with you.
For me, what would have worked better, because like I said, she was doing it earlier in the thing. Do it when she still has people in the bar. Throw daggers, do stuff like that. Force the Jedi to use their powers to stop doing that and overwhelm her with so many things like that. Then she can finally hit her with something that'll stop her. Like, give her too many things to try to do. Overwhelm her with multiple tasks of saving and protecting people. Then maybe you could hit her with something like that. That would seem more...
I think they killed her parents.
Or maybe like just a clever way to actually kill her, not a stereotypical... I mean, let's face it, that scene you see in like buddy cop movies where they both like look at each other, look at the danger, look at each other again, and then it happens. It was like a weird comical almost moment. in what was otherwise a beautifully choreographed fight.
Yeah. But after that, we go to this other character who looks like the assassin, and waking up on a starship, getting ready, they go out. We'll just briefly go over it. She has to go repair a ship because she's, I don't know, mechanic, I think is what they call them.
They call them mechnics.
Like a roughneck.
Yeah.
But they do the droids' work, but they're not supposed to legally.
Yeah. Which, there they are.
Well, but see,
droids, come and taking our jobs.
But
Fuck.
no, that's what the droids are saying. Oh, look at this human.
Man.
Look at this mednick. Oh, taking our work.
Uh-huh.
If you ever listen to George Lucas, he was like, the only people who were ever persecuted and prejudiced against in the Star Wars universe are droids.
Droids.
Yeah. Droids are the only ones.
Well, yes. Episode 4. We don't serve their kind.
We don't serve their kind,
They send 3.
So it really is the droids taking the humans' jobs, because that's, I'm just saying.
That's probably
or the droids are just like, this is the only work I can find. It's like the Irish when they first came. Yeah, exactly. And our people, the Hispanics.
Yeah. It was the Irish first, though.
Yeah.
But real quickly, it doesn't bother me as much as people.
We escape cartels, they escape potato famines. I mean,
Campfire in space, you have issues with that?
What's that?
Where she's repairing and that pipe bursts and there's like fire and
I get it, they were going for a flashback moment, but technically in the vacuum of space, it would be like a blowtorch. It would be more like a blowtorch than like a rising flame, but I think they could have done that a little. But it's a minor detail. It really doesn't bother me that much. They wanted to trigger her flashback to she has some sort of trauma and fire seems to be involved with it, so we get that sense. All of a sudden she's visited by...
No, there was an easy solution. I mean, she fixes it and she's coming back into the ship. Maybe there's a malfunction and a fire happens there, which would make more sense.
But whatever, it's a small.
But yeah, it's a ticky tack.
But
this is not one of the things that I say suspend disbelief. I'm just one of those. Meh, I see what they're going for.
We're nerds. This is what we fight over.
You guys, seriously, you're really gonna harp on that?
I'm
no. Out of all the things in the world,
this is things I've heard.
Eric, these are things people are talking about. That's why I brought it up.
Are you serious?
Yes.
I can't stand people. I'm back to that again. Fuck me. That's why some of y'all are never getting laid.
Look, man,
I mean it.
I try to get
like
an
wholeheartedly.
Actually,
fuck you.
Like I said, I scour for these kind of things because I want to see what people are talking about, what's going on, and that's one of the points they're talking about. But beside that, we get the Jedi coming in. They're on a Trade Federation ship.
That's
and so the Jedi is asking for this mechanic who looks like the assassin. And to show kind of like the Jedi maybe abuse their power a little too much now, he comes in, asks them, and they're like, oh, we don't have anybody here by that name. They're like, and he like puts his hands up to like, oh, we're gonna read your mind. And then he's like,
right away he's like threatening him. He's like, I'm like, wow, this is the Jedi way.
This is
hell yeah, it is.
Lord.
Now see, the only thing that I can think of is maybe they're trying to show the Jedi, and especially it could be since it's the High Order.
Yeah.
Maybe they're trying to show it as like, this is the tipping point where basically power has gotten to
they were the cops.
Order, and it's like, hey, now you're gonna have like
essentially
people abusing their power.
And that's what this show really is. It's like a police procedural, to be honest. They're trying to find a criminal. What's going on? Now, costume-wise, because I've heard people talking about it, that's actually the design of their costumes. That's kind of what the High Order had. So they actually wore costumes like that. So they were a little more ornamental than what the later Jedi would wear.
Yeah.
Well, my first thought was like, well, costume-wise, I mean, don't get me wrong, it kind of looks like a Party City kind of costume, but... That really doesn't bother. Look, this is a TV show.
I can't even fucking put a costume together like that.
Well, my thing was because I didn't really know because I haven't really read the High Order stuff. Mm-hmm. So to me, I was like, these aren't the Jedis I remember. I only remember like the night robes and stuff that I'd seen prior. So seeing this for the first time, I was like, what? It's kind of like assholes. I mean,
they tend I think they're supposed to be.
Which I'm assuming because of now that I know it's like the
because
High
I mean the way the Force
like royalty and
the way the Force works, once one side is too unbalanced, the other side rises up.
Yeah, and so they come off as they maybe use their power a little too willy-nilly. They're a little too gung-ho about like, hey, let's get it done, let's use it, because I want to get the answers.
Or at least one person, our Lord and Savior.
Our Lord and Savior, yes.
Because
I don't like that guy.
No one does. Well, at least not that I know.
He interrogates our assassin. Now this is a part that they didn't. They like start to explain the backstory of her, dump. And it was like you didn't need that. You can just do a flashback later on, which I think then honestly, I've heard the next episode is a flashback. So we'll find out.
If you're doing that in the next episode, why the hell are you
even that? There was another part they showed later on in the show where they kind of maybe even could have explained it more, but it's like leave the mystery. Leave it as.
It's like, hey Eric, I've known you for 20 years at least, right? Yes. Right, and you've lived here in this city this whole time, right? Yeah. Well, if I already know, why the hell am I asking you? And that's kind of...
it's just kind of...
No, but it's an interrogation, that's why.
Yeah, but restating their stuff they already know, which wasn't pertinent to the assassination.
That's not an interrogation, because it was the Padawan that was asking. Like, she had a checklist, like making sure that they were who they said they were. And
I'm just saying they could have done that part, like, they could have cut that part out and just done it somewhere else, even later on in this episode. But... basically, the identity.
Because even now, she's like, "So why are you here?" Like, these questions are too.
Exactly. So she realizes they're questioning her. They tell her that a Jedi's been murdered. It happened last night, which is where the sense of time thing kind of throws me off because they say she's on the starship that's like the furthest away from Coruscant. But what was happening on this time too is they have outposts and they don't really explain that. And so it could be these two particular Jedi were on an outpost close to where this ship was. And they came out, so that might be... But again, it's not really explained.
Well, then they said, what did you do with your day off? Not your days off, not your vacation.
Yeah. Well, no, they even said... They said the Jedi was killed last night. What did you do? Yeah. And she was like, I was on the ship. And the other thing was like, well, are there logs? Are there records of it? But technically, they're not supposed to have these people here. They're not supposed to have there,
so she has no...
and like I said, that's
do they have any ships other than like escape pods on that vessel? And, you know...
The gel vessel that they put her on?
No, the one.
But essentially, there could be there's a possibility of no logs being there to prove it because she's technically not supposed to be on the ship anyhow.
Yeah.
So to kind of debunk anything with that.
Yeah, she's not even supposed to be there.
Okay. So basically, they arrest her, but instead of
our Lord and Savior actually like.
Taking her on his ship.
They being responsible.
They put her on a prison transport with like one guard droid and then 2 autopilots.
So
hell yeah.
Just I mean, one of the things I have a problem with. So this person supposedly, or Osha, supposedly killed a Jedi Master. Why would you send a 2-year rookie Jedi Knight out to go take on this person with their Padawan? Oh, hey. No, don't worry. She butchered a Jedi Master. But
I would hardly call it butchered.
You'll be okay.
But still,
you go over there,
kill the Jedi Master.
You pick them up, and you bring them back. That's how the Jedi High Order's working it. They're just like, oh hey, don't worry, you'll be fine. There's 2 of you. I mean, sure, like you're no master. Oh my God, we pretty much demean you every chance we get. But hey. You'll be fine. Bring your little friend with you. You'll be all right.
For optics wise, I think it would have been better if they sent a Jedi Master. But the most glaring error, though, is that when they take her, they just put her on a droid-protected prison transport.
Classic Bond.
Versus actually taking her in with the Jedi themselves.
Jedi Master, I expect you to die. Dun, 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 dun. Basically, I mean.
And then again, this character's name is Osha. So, Osha's on the prison transport. She says she didn't kill anyone. She didn't do anything with it. And all of a sudden, they're like, "We got a jailbreak that's happening. This guy knows how to hack people, and they didn't disable them or put them anywhere, and we put them right next to the bridge."
Well, we'll disable the psychotic guy. We'll put a parasite in him to make sure he's not a threat to anything or anybody. But you see that guy decked out in all this techno wear? Nah, he's fine. Which I mean,
he's
that
good.
guy seemed so hilarious. I was just waiting for like beats to come out. Just because he had like the sunglasses on, the earphones.
Here's Vanessa, or whatever her name is, being a bitch.
Vanesh. Oh God, I can't even remember now.
Vanestra?
Yes, Vanestra, I think.
I know that people write this stuff for like futuristic, like out of this universe shit. But come on, can a name just be a name at some point? Like you got so close to Vanessa, you might as well just said Vanessa.
I mean, we live close enough to the hood where you know how it is. It's like Sarah. No, it's Sarah.
Sarah.
It's not Vanessa. It's Vanestra. Like, come on. It can't be normal. Everybody names their kid Vanessa, but only the few chosen
get named Vanestra.
But they start a prison break. She gets left behind because she says she doesn't want to go on the prison break. That's fine. I'm okay with that. Her little droid thing falls out.
I kind of thought it was funny.
She tries to do her
the force pull.
For force pull, it doesn't work. And if anybody was like,
or did it work too well and pull the entire ship? And that's why, what was that thing's called? Pip or whatever. That's why Pip flew back to her.
She has a little droid.
She overshot. She moved the whole ship.
Yeah, she has a utility droid that she uses. She helps, and this particular droid, she's not able to pull it. And they already kind of established this in like Obi-Wan. If you don't use the Force for a long time, it becomes like a muscle you don't use, and it's like I can't do this shit. Like he barely saved Princess Leia when she falls from the elevator. He's like, ah! Oh, I pulled something. Yeah, he's like, I got a hernia from saving her. Need some icy hot. I'm gonna feel that for a month. So I was like, okay, cool. All right, so they can't use Force powers. All right. But
there were some pretty good fucking scenes in that fucking show, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no. I mean, that's the thing that Star Wars is now. It's not so much a great show. It's like there's a couple of good scenes that are memorable. But
I mean, I think
my thing was like,
I think it's because of the I think it's the overarching narrative that like people like just have a hard time with sometimes.
Why would you put a Mednick in a ship with nothing but droids? Where it's like, oh yeah, no. She works with electronics. The Jedi have that thing, the technopaths, that are like just really, really good with electronics. Maybe she's a technopath, and if that's the case, then it's like, why are we doing this? Then now even Yord looks even more stupid because he's like, first of all,
I guess Yord would know what kind of Jedi she is, though, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he would, or he should, since he's known her for 8 years or whatever.
They've known. Before he became a Jedi Knight.
Before he did it, yeah. So they must have been children because they remember, like, they only take in.
Yeah, babies. Well, she joined the Order when she was 8, I believe, if I remember correctly.
You might be right. I didn't check that.
Too old.
Only because I was trying to do mental math in my head.
Too old he is.
She's supposed to be like 23 or something.
Too old she is.
Yeah, I was trying to do the math, it seems like, at some point. But I remember she said at one point.
Yoda participates in ageism.
Yes,
so if they were in the same, if they're in the same class, I mean, it's like, you should know what her powers are. And if she is a technopath, or they, or whatever you want to refer to them as, then, I mean, why would you put them in a, it's strictly run by, and Yord is just, meh, it happened. She'll be fine. It's going to get there in time. And then my other thing is, I mean, and nerding out and stuff, when you go with an object that's going from escape velocity and crashes straight into
a mountain,
freaking planet, it doesn't even matter if it's a mountain. It could be an ocean. It could, maybe, unless they're like, no, it was snow. It softened the blow. But I'm sorry, I keep thinking of that South Park where they're like, a volcano strike, remember, tuck and cover. And they like... And they show people like getting melted by lava. And
basically the ship crashes onto a planet. There's no control over it, which I was kind of hoping she would take the controls and at least try to like angle it up to give it a chance to ease the impact.
Yeah.
But instead she just kind of straps in, takes the crash stance, and I'm like, all right, that's fine. And again, I'll suspend my disbelief here.
Again,
you survived the crash. I don't have a problem with that. But it was like, give her a bruise or something, because that was the only thing. She like had no marks on her after the crash.
Well, which then brings up 2 scenes that come up that are very problematic for me, because when she is doing the escape, all the prisoners leave in escape pods except her. She gets jilted.
Well, that last one kind of really.
I saw that coming a mile away. I was like, really? You're going to trust this psychopath that's got a parasite that's controlling him? And you're thinking, now I get the whole like, no life left behind. But would you really just be like, you're free? Let me explain. So we're going to go into this escape pod, and oh shit, he's going. Oh, he hit the button.
Well, but that at least shows that.
But it shows she is compassionate. She's good.
So I like.
I understand that, but like once again, suspend disbelief.
Yeah.
But the two scenes come up. That is the whole.
I don't know. My dumb ass would fucking go over there and try to get the guy out of the thing. And I would probably be the idiot being left behind.
They picked up the prisoners from the pods and then brought them back to Coruscant, where you have Vanessa having her like, well, we've deployed some what is it?
Probes.
They're sweeping the scene
site
right now, so not a problem.
And that's where the sense of time gets, because it's like they were in hyperdrive. Where were they going? How close were they to Coruscant? But still, it was like you guys were just out there. You could have sent, I don't know, part of your squad to go pick her up, or at least see what's going on.
If you think about it, they collect the pods, they bring them back, and then they notice one's missing.
Yeah.
Or maybe as you're collecting the pods, you're like, hey, we're missing one. Maybe we should check that.
Unless they tractor beam them.
No, let's go back. Well, it's an escape pod, I'm sure it has some sort of tracker. So because it's an escape pod.
Yeah, but they pick them up. I mean, they don't know who's in the escape pod.
Yeah, but while you're there, I mean, that's like going all the way downtown, picking up some chicken, and then going all the way back home and just be like, oh, you know what? Forgot biscuits. I should go back. Why not check your order all the way downtown and be like, okay, I got it.
Either way, this is where the whole time thing kind of
Nobody does that except you.
This is where the whole time thing kind of throws me off, though, because it's like, well, how much time had passed? She's crashed. She's passed out. She has a vision. She has a dream of that.
I was thinking a day.
Yeah, and that's the other scene that I was going to mention was the dream. It's like. So
I forget the dream. What happened?
The dream where she sees her twin sister, which
May.
Yeah, which shows kind of her sister's the one. She's the one doing the assassination killing.
Odin's alive.
And so she has this whole scene where they have a flashback. She chases her. They start talking to each other and say some old riddle from when they were kids. You are me and I am you, or something like that.
Yeah, some twin shit.
Yeah. And then and then she wakes up, she's on the ship, and then she sees the Jedi, and instead of being like, oh, I'm going to freeze my ass off here if I keep staying here, she runs. She decides to run instead.
Which means that basically she has been unconscious for the entire duration of time, because she's still on the bridge. Yeah. Unconscious the entire time that it took for the Jedi to collect the escape pods, bring them back to Coruscant, go all the way back to whatever planet she's from, just in time to miss her with that weird Han Solo run that she.
And I have skipped over.
Hey man,
I was like, maybe she's trying to do an homage to Han Solo, because all I could think about was that scene where he's running down the hallway with Chewbacca after the stormtroopers. What? He does that weird little run charge. But that's the only thing I could see when I saw them running in the snow.
You ever notice in Indiana Jones, you don't really run, right?
Well, Harrison Ford, I love the guy, but he has the most unusual run I've ever seen.
No.
Not as bad as Seagal.
Okay.
But,
Steven Seagal.
But, I was wait a minute. It
is very unique. There you go. That's a better word. Not unusual,
with his wrist
unique.
flipping left and right, dude.
Because he sticks his chest out way too much. And
he makes his arms just go completely limp while he runs.
Hey, man, I'm not sure. He'll probably never listen to this, but I'm pretty sure if he does, he'll try to kill us. He's got the deadly art of Aikido.
He would have to stand up off of his chair.
Yeah, I was gonna say if we run up some stairs, we'd be safe.
Yeah, we'd be good.
Jesus.
He'd be like, I'm having it.
Have you seen those action movies with him in his older age though, where you see him and the guys have to come up to him while he's sitting in a chair and he'll fight him.
I can't remember what the last
it's
movie of his I watched, but I think it was the one with not DMX. Ja Rule was in the movie or something, and he does this. They pretend it's him doing this handstand kick, and I'm like, there's no way that fat fuck is doing that.
They hire stuntmen to do walking for him because walking is too much for him, and they get body doubles to do that shit for him. It is hilarious. There's a guy what is it? Space Ice.
Space Ice. Yeah.
Space Ice does these best movie ever, worst movie ever. With Jean-Claude Van Damme is the best movie ever. Those are hilarious. But the Steven Seagal ones are just as funny. The worst movie ever.
They're amazing.
But get a chance, check those out. Those are hilarious.
I agree, hands down.
But one character I have skipped over while we're doing all this is what is it? Soul.
Yeah, Soul. Soul. Well, we talked about his character a little bit, but yeah, he's the shining light.
Yeah,
in the series.
he knows OSHA And he even trained her for a while she was in the Jedi Order, but she left the Jedi Order 6 years ago, is what it is, from what her current age is. And he wants to go and pick her up and save her. So he's the one who actually goes to the planet. So when she's having the whole dream sequence and all that, and she sees him, she starts running away. And then they pay homage to The Fugitive. I have nothing else I could say for that.
And now that I guess Friday the 13th also, because if you see those Jedi all slowly walking to chase Osha once again doing her weird run.
Well, you ain't going nowhere, bitch.
She runs to the mountain because she clearly leaves way before them, and then they go into the bridge, and it's like, where is she? And then Saul is like, oh, she's over here. So she has a good head start, but then all of a sudden they catch up to her, even though she's booking it, and they're just kind of like sashaying.
Well, they're walking. They're fast walking.
It's like, they had their horses with the coconuts.
I mean, what do you want, man? They're Jedi. They don't run unless they have to.
There you go. Unless they were like, all right, now we're going to use force speed.
Run.
We're going to do force speed for just a short burst because there's ice. Just to catch up.
Honestly, there was a big part of me when I saw Force Speed. I was like, "What kind of bullshit is this?" Like in that very first episode of episode 1.
They only showed it twice,
and I was like,
and then I can't remember. Martin watches this one all the time, where a guy uses a deep fake where he's like Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes.
And so the ghost of Qui-Gon's always talking. It was like. And they're like, why didn't you use force speed right there to get to me? He's like, I can't do that.
Yeah, when they're doing the Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Those gates are.
No, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I've seen that guy too.
Why didn't you use the force speed there?
And then when Qui-Gon dies, then he finds out Darth Maul comes back in the Clone Wars or whatever.
Yeah. Well, at least he died too. He's like, wait, what? At least that's the last we've seen of him. Yeah.
Dude, that actually...
It's like you were just minutes away, minutes away.
He comes back during the Clone Wars. He comes back in Rebels. Dude, I think that's where he dies in Rebels.
And when he goes down a vent, lives. Qui-Gon gets a little, which we've seen recovered from
that was
in other movies.
That was through his fucking chest though.
Raiden or who was
Sabine?
Yeah, Sabine didn't get stabbed in the chest or
Sabine.
She was from she was in Ahsoka. Her apprentice.
Yeah, did she get stabbed in the chest?
She got stabbed.
Oh yeah.
And then when she did, it looked like a little cigarette lighter was just put on her,
and then,
on her stomach.
Was it?
No, but he was stabbed through the chest,
or was it Rey that got stabbed?
Well, somebody got brought back to life, but that was the whole Force life thing.
That wasn't that Kylo Ren? They got brought back to life?
Yeah, Kylo Ren gets brought back because Rey brings him back.
Does he get stabbed? Is that what it was, Kylo Ren?
No, it was Rey.
But in the Force Awakens,
when you hear all the voices talking about the Jedi.
There you go.
It was Rey.
Yeah. It was a 50-50.
I don't know.
I didn't have the quarter on me. But yeah, I mean, it's like...
But yeah.
And that's why when you hear all the Jedi voices, those are the Jedi voices who are supposed to be alive still. Right?
No. I think those are all the Jedi through history.
That's the Force.
Because I think you heard Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
other Jedis who had died.
Yeah,
R2-D2.
Yeah, but they're alive in the
light,
in the stream of
the circle of light.
All right, back to the.
I've still been on the fence of whether Ahsoka's alive or not. After.
We'll
you mean later, after being underwater for a day?
Yeah, well,
Jedi breathing technique.
But basically, she's
goddamn alien. What do you want? Yeah, we die. I don't know what she does.
So we got the fugitive scene, clear ripoff. I don't care.
I don't care.
It's funny, but they get her. They bring her in, and then of course Yord is like, shouldn't we handcuff her? And he's like, no, not necessarily. She's like, I didn't do it. It was May. May's alive. And that's when Soul's like, I believe you. He's like, all right.
Which moments before, literally moments before, Yord is like,
because they find out she has a twin sister, and they're like, no, she died 16 years ago. No, she died.
Yord's like, could be the sister. No, I saw her with my own eyes. She's dead. Not possible. Fast forward 2 minutes. It was my sister. I believe you.
And which I think that illustrates the point is he trusts her more than what he sees with his eyes. Because remember earlier in that episode,
trust or respect? Because we've already established no one gives a crap about Yord.
Well, that's true.
Yord could just be like, the ship's on fire.
Yeah, but you got to remember earlier in the episode
that works for me because that's how I feel about Yord anyway.
Well, no, true. That's how we feel about him. But you would think with the Jedi Order, maybe there would be some sort of respect.
I should have just let you get stabbed.
Soul teaches all the children Padawan, or all the children growing up to be Jedi. And he did say, don't trust your eyes. Of course, then you had the one little girl who's like, I see fire. And he was like, we need to keep an eye on this one here.
Oh, shh.
Oh, no, you're fine. You're fine.
Put her on the list. Yeah. But even what's her face?
They would call it the Anakin list if it was in the future.
Jackie, the Daphne Keene. Even she was just like, ugh, Yord. Ugh.
Yeah, which
you're not bringing him, are you?
Yord kind of comes off as an idiot as to he shouldn't even be here. It seems like at times.
Well, okay, so if the Jedi, like you said, Eric, if the Jedi equate into like the police, he's probably like that horrible cop that you're just like, oh shoot, really?
Schmitty from the Rookies.
That's who we're bringing?
He's
He's what?
He's Officer Dewey.
Yeah,
Officer Dewey.
So what are you doing with the vacuum, Yord? Nothing. It's broken again. Yeah, I mean, gosh. Yeah, it's just, I don't understand. Okay, well, I do have a theory. And that, because one of the weird things that kind of struck me odd was the, like, weird, senseless, shirtless scene in the... Because, I mean, yeah, Anakin had that one where he's in bed. But, I mean, it made sense. He was having a nightmare.
Yeah.
You know, you get dream sequence, nightmare, he's in bed, probably sleeps without a shirt. But Yord's was just weird. It was just like, hey, I'm steaming my robe. I am all that is man, which is possibly what they're going for. That it's like their way of like, hey, this is man. This is the guy. Hey, man, this is what we're gonna call.
Hey, if you got it, show it off.
No, well, but that's
better than me.
That's the point. I think they were kind of like showing him shirtless, so it's like
he doesn't have diabetes.
This is basically quote unquote the epitome of maleness, and so because of that, we're going to show just like how inept and how just idiotic males are in this.
Well, later in episode 2, they do show a Jedi who has Jedi-abetes. So,
you're looking way too much into that.
No, I get that. That's like
Jesus.
That's like deep dive type stuff, but
that's like manosphere shit.
And I haven't
take it easy, Jordan Peterson.
I haven't seen this enough to actually like. I mean, because I can dissect stuff. I just choose not to because I'm lazy.
I just don't.
Yeah, no, but...
I just don't like Yord.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that's just one of those things where it's kind of like...
That's how
that skinny bitch.
I try and take it as just like... I try not to get too serious about these things. I'm just like, even though it doesn't sound like it.
but basically, in the very end of the episode, we have a scene where... you see who possibly is the Sith.
She even fucking
Yeah, she doesn't respect him. No one respects him. The Padawan.
That's his Padawan.
Well, I don't think it's his. I think it's Soul's.
Soul's. I think it might be Soul's Padawan.
Because I think, like Chris was saying, was like he trains the younglings.
Because you have to. In order to have a Padawan, you have to be a master, right?
I think he could be a knight. I think he could be a knight because Qui-Gon was a knight. He wasn't a master.
Qui-Gon. Oh, that's right. Qui-Gon was a knight. He wasn't a master.
No. Actually, he might have been a master. He wasn't on the council.
He wasn't on the council.
He was a master. He just wasn't on the council, and he wasn't on the council because he broke the rules.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he's a rebel. He has a particular set of skills.
I could take you down with 21 cuts of fighting.
Technically, if Qui-Gon never rescues that kid, we never have any of these stories. So all of that shit's Qui-Gon's fault.
Or Jar Jar's.
The evil Sith Lord.
He doesn't rescue Jar Jar. I mean, the story doesn't happen.
Jar Jar, the ultimate Sith Lord.
Uh-huh.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it seems like the Jedi have a lot of quit in this one, so maybe he's just like, Qui-Gon, come back. Meh, we lost. Oh, right, come back.
That basically sums up episode 1. We get into episode 2. There's...
No, something else happened in episode 1. Oh, she tries to kill that dude.
No, that's in the second one.
No, it's on the first one. Force dude? Where she goes after the Force dude?
Yeah. Well, okay, actually, the end of the episode, I forgot. I did forget something. That's when they kind of reveal who this potential Sith or whoever this is.
That weird-ass generic monologue.
The assassin is reporting to.
Who is clearly not a chick, and they are totally not changing their voice.
You never know. They keep saying he, but then again, pronouns and all that.
Oh, no, but if it's Darth Raven, it is a chick.
Well, but they really make a big point in the second episode to make sure they say he several times, even though when you hear the voice and you see the body, you're like,
men run the world, so of course it's got to be a man.
Pretty sure that's a female.
But at the end of the episode,
unless they throw the twist where they're like, but I don't identify as one.
Wait, isn't
Which is why
but this Sith Lord has like a monologue where they're saying, you cannot kill a Jedi with steel or laser, which is bullshit because the assassin already killed him with steel. But you cannot kill him with steel, laser. Basically just saying to disarm the Jedi dream, you need to fight them defenseless, kill their dream, you kill the Jedi. That's basically, I think, what...
Well, yeah, because
the point of the monologue
because
is...
they're not supposed to draw their swords against people or their lightsabers against people who are just using their fist. And technically, she's just using her fist.
Well, unless they intend to kill, because that was one of the things that I had on the opening credits, where it's like the only time a Jedi draws their sabers when they intend to kill.
Yeah, well, when they intend to kill, they're not. She's not supposed to be intending to kill this person. They're not really ever.
She just saw this person come in and like beat the crap out of people. And
I mean, I'm sorry, guys. I see someone beat you guys up. I'm probably gonna intend to kill. I love you guys.
I would at least, But yeah, I mean, can you not?
Well, she pulled out daggers at some point, so it was like, all right, lightsabers would come out, and then she, whatever.
Yeah, but think about it. You got a lightsaber, you got daggers. Such an inferior weapon.
But clearly, Yor doesn't follow that because that dude is like laser happy 24/7.
Laser is pretty twitch happy. Yeah, he sees somebody, he's like, boom. He's like that cop who's like always ready to draw and shoot first, ask questions.
Are you kidding? He's Barney Fife. That dude used to draw his gun over anything. He's basically Barney Fife of this freaking series. Surprised they're not like, all right, we're going to give you a small little charge on your lightsaber instead of just one bullet. They're like, all right, it's only going to last 30 seconds, so make sure it counts because we trust you. Wink, wink. They're like looking at everybody else on the council.
Have you seen that clip?
Oh my!
Is that a good idea? No, we only give him one bullet.
No. The crystal's a fake. It's only a light. It really is literally a light. It's not even a laser.
There's a clip of these two female cops going to knock on someone's door to get them home. And they knock on somebody's house, and it's, I guess, the wrong person or something, but they, in their own house, and they bring a weapon or whatever to the door. And the cops are like, oh! And they just see these two cops, like, opening fire on the door, reloading their clips, going,
holy shit.
And it was like, oh, they shot the person. It was the person's house, and they were not, it was not supposed to be the person they were going to. And
well, actually,
not quite announced.
well, actually, they tell us to aim for center mass.
But they unloaded each one of them unloaded two clips. They're like, oh, go back down the stairs, go back.
They tell us to empty the clip too.
Have you guys ever seen what is it? True Wilderness, or it's that one with Steve Zahn where they run into Bigfoot.
Oh yeah. And
Bigfoot's all,
you showed
me. And they like just unload, and then they're like, next scene they're like around the fire.
He was coming right at us, right?
Yeah, we didn't have a choice, man. You saw him. He was like, "Hey, I'm gonna kill you, motherfuckers. I'm gonna kill you." And then I saw that too. Yeah, he was coming at you. And then finally, the one person with reason was like, I think he said, "Huh?"
That fucking movie.
That movie sucked, but there was two just drop dead hilarious. I laughed till I cried moments.
Okay.
I mean, come on, man. Steve Zahn is like a national treasure.
That guy, I feel bad.
I think he's
I do too. He's underappreciated. I'm telling you.
Yeah, or he even had that show, was it White Lotus, and then he got replaced. They're like, eh.
I never saw White Lotus. Was he on it?
Yeah, he was on the first season.
It's on HBO or Showtime?
And
HBO
he got replaced?
Max. It's on Max.
Okay, cool.
He got replaced?
Oh. They had another season, and he didn't come back, although some other people did.
Oh, man. Poor Steve Zahn.
All right.
So, episode 2.
Maybe he was too big an actor.
Or can you guys think of anything else that you want to cover on 1?
No, I think we covered everything that happened on episode 1.
I don't care.
Yeah, the fugitive scene, all that, but...
I think that was an homage to The Fugitive, to be honest with you. I think it was purposeful.
I think I have seen about 30 people mention The Fugitive when they mention it. Like, everybody thinks the same thing when they see that scene. Everybody's like, that is The Fugitive.
Well, yeah, I mean, I didn't kill her. I
know, I just want that gravelly Harrison Ford voice. I didn't kill my wife.
Yeah.
I don't care.
And in this case, it probably works. Didn't kill my wife.
That's where Soul's like, I don't care.
And I hate interviews and I hate fans. I don't like any of them.
He's like, I asked him to kill me in all the Star Wars movies I've ever been in.
Just kill me.
Which is pretty much, I think at the Return of the Jedi, he wanted them to kill him. Pretty much, he was like, just kill me. Kill me. I'm done with it.
And when he finally dies, he's like, thank God.
Yeah, he was like, finally, I died in Force Awakens. And then they're like, Carrie Fisher died. We need to bring you back in for the last one.
There's a problem. We're going to have kind of a spirit mode. So we're going to have you come back as a wandering spirit, if that's all right.
How's it going, sport?
Can't Mark do it?
Yeah.
Can't Mark do it?
Just have Hamill do it. He does a great Harrison Ford impersonation.
Yeah, he does, actually.
You can't have Hamill do it? I'd rather
have
Hamill to do it.
That ain't that kind of movie, kid.
Okay. But episode 2... Shoot, I don't even remember where it starts.
Alright, so... Episode 2 starts with... Hold on, let me get there.
I'm trying to remember if it starts on the ship Jedi. Or if it starts with the
Fat Jedi.
Well, Fat Jedi... was it...
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan Kenobi is definitely in there.
Which... I know people are down about representation in films and all that, don't need to see themselves, but I feel seen in this show because they have a Jedi who fits my body positivity image here, where I'm like, I can be a Jedi, and evidently discipline is not required to be a Jedi in the High Order.
Well, because they're always about don't only Sith deal in extremes. Maybe this guy is going to become a Sith.
Or
they're kind of an extreme going on there.
It's like, well, yeah, there's some extreme eating, so he's on his way to the dark side.
So yeah, I've heard the Obi-Wan Kenobi. I like that one, but Fatawan is a good one.
It starts. Fatawan.
That's a good one.
Poor guy.
What was the last one I heard? He orders 66 burgers.
That's not as good as Fatawan. I really like Fatawan.
So episode 2 starts with the child extortion.
I'm a Fatawan.
Where May pays a kid, puts a kid in harm's way to distract a door droid, whatever they're called.
That's right.
And then pays them 2 cents, good job, kid. You almost got killed, but that's okay. Because...
That's what you're here for.
Yeah.
But really what makes sense is she throws this, I guess, hacking device on the thing to disable the droid when it eventually was closing anyway, and then she threw it on and it did it. So I'm not sure.
I think I missed this part.
Well, then what's the point? They all know who the assassin is. It's dude, just go up there and be like...
Well, at this point...
Knock. Hello, who is it? Bloop. It doesn't have any lasers or anything, at least that I see.
The only thing I can see is it opens the door after she does that.
Oh,
but yeah. I don't know what the difference between her just putting it on there versus having a kid distract it and then throwing it on when it was closing it later. So
but she's so used to using the Force, she could have just guided it on there. To be honest with you, I mean, that's
to be honest, and then they'll show it off later. She doesn't even need the front door because she. Whatever, this master Tord, I think.
These Jedi masters, they think of everything except for, there's a huge hole in the ceiling. Maybe we should do something about that? No, yeah, you're right. We don't need anything. I'm overthinking this. No one will ever be stupid enough to crawl into the big huge...
This is Master Torben. Now, I've seen this in a few movies now. I unfortunately watched Rebel Moon. I did watch that to see how all its terrible glory. And they have this thing where they take these young characters and they try to put beards on them and make them look older. And obviously this guy, this Master Torben that she's trying to assassinate here, he does not look like an old man. He is... I don't know, in his 20s, I think, if I remember correctly. This guy's 26, 27 years old. They try to age him up because they're going to use him, from what I hear, in a flashback in the next episode. But they try to age him up. And I'm just like,
you know what though? This dude's a beast. Like she does everything to try to fucking.
But
hit
yeah,
him.
this is one of the funniest parts of the series.
Nothing, not a goddamn thing.
Because he's sitting there, he is meditating, and she does everything she can to try to penetrate his guard, and she is just hitting air. She's hitting air, and it's just like stop.
He's just floating in the air like those dudes on public broadcast that used to pretend to float. Like
honestly, it looks like she's playing Ultimate Mime right now because she can't get anywhere near this guy to hit him. It looks like there's an invisible wall all the way around him. So she fails. Somebody's finally starting to come, check what's going on, and she just.
This scene always reminds me of those chi masters that are always like, "Yes, try to hit me. My chi is so awesome." And they like get close, and then they're just like, "Oh!" like fall back and fall to the ground because he's able to master his chi so well that you get close and you just collapse because he's just too awesome. But and then Ron White says, there's just a whole lot of quitting her. It's just, and nothing's.
But I don't blame her on this because I don't know what the fuck she could have done because the guy was just he was just so not even paying attention to her. She's like, she does her little cringe thing like, fight me with all your might or whatever. We have unfinished business. And then she's just punching walls, but she even tries jumping off the wall to kick him, and then she just like lands on her face.
Yeah, but I mean, what kind of assassin is like, you know what?
I'll get back at you.
I'm going to do zero research. I mean, I obviously scoped out security, and I know how to bypass security. But my target, nah.
Hey, she got
I'll deal with that when it comes.
She got big for her britches. She got her first time in there, and she's like, I can take him down right now. No further research needed. She goes in there, and it's like, never mind, this motherfucker.
Like, Trinity wasn't crap. I'll take on some sitting monk in a heartbeat. Yeah. But I mean, zero research? I don't know. It just seems kind of weird.
They are who we thought they were.
Yeah. They were who we thought they were.
We have that. And then all of a sudden, now that Osha is with the Jedi Yord and the Padawan, I cannot find her name.
I cannot remember. Daphne King.
I don't see her on here. So
No,
she's the first character.
What's her face? Jecki,
okay. They're all together. They're all heading to...
she's Chitara.
So instead of going to Coruscant, they're going to this planet
Chitara.
because they heard about a Jedi attack, and they know for sure that Osha was not involved because somebody tried to take Master Torbin's life. So they're like, well, if she was in your possession, they're like that.
And yet, for some reason, they're allowed to go without the Jedi Council having to stop them to have a conversation, which will come up later.
So they go straight over here because they're like, well, we know what's going on. We're going to go over there. We're going to take her with us. We're going to try to investigate this.
And they're even talking to Yanessa about it. So I'm like, okay.
Vanestra.
Vanestra. Not Vanessa.
Vanessa?
Yeah, whatever. We'll just call her Vanessa.
I'm going to call her Vanessa. I can't do that shit.
Yeah,
but anyways, the conversation's had, and she's able to make a decision.
So Vinny,
remember that she's able to make a decision by herself to say that sounds like a good plan. Do it.
So they go, they investigate. When they arrive there, but before that, you see May, the actual assassin. She's talking to this one of her other compatriots who's in an apothecary shop, and she's like, "Hey, I couldn't beat this guy. I couldn't touch him." She's like,
"Try not to think of Schitt's Creek."
He's like, I could not do a goddamn thing. I couldn't touch this guy. He's impenetrable. I can't stop this fucker. He has no weakness." And then that's when this new guy, was it
alchemist,
Khmer, I think.
Yeah.
Khmer. He comes in. He's like, everybody's got a weakness. The Jedi he just thinks he's found peace. You just gotta find what it is he's really guilty about and give him absolution. So she has this guy create a poison for her, and she goes back to him. So,
because clearly she's an acolyte and does not need any weapons.
and she's mentioning, she's like, I will kill one of the 4 Jedi without a weapon, but not this one. Is basically what she said.
Well, and then she basically is just like, shh, just don't tell. And this is what I was telling you. This is when they're like, do not tell him about this. And this is where they make sure that they try and, really plug that the Sith is a he.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're just,
trying to build suspense like they did with the twins.
And later we'll find out that she may not even know.
How many episodes is it supposed to be?
8.
We'll find out on 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. You saw how quickly we found out.
We had the
murder mystery at the beginning.
Maybe 5. But I've
murder
heard
mystery at the
rumors,
beginning
so
with the twins. So
5
it's
or
like,
6.
I think
that was solved within 10 minutes. It's like, okay, so if
but everybody kind of knew there was going to be a twin.
I think
either that or this bitch is a fucking
3,
schizophrenic.
from what I understand, is a throwaway
From what I hear,
episode.
I think the main.
But I'm just
guy
saying,
we're looking at
either
shows up at
that
the
or
end
she's
of
a fucking
4.
schizophrenic, and I know I saw you kill her.
Okay. We'll get to that because we're gonna try to do some predictions after this.
Well, I can't predict on that. I mean, we know there's 2 of them.
No, but 2 episodes, just off the first 2 episodes. Come on, we're just making big giant swings for.
Swing for the fences.
Goddamn brothers.
Yeah, brothers. Can you tell?
All right, so they find out poison's created. May heads back to the temple. All the rest of the Jedi, they're going to the temple because they heard there was an attack, and it turns out they're attacking at the same time. Now, Jedi haven't kicked up their security yet because they're like, somebody tried to kill one of our people, but no big deal. It's all good.
Or maybe they don't even know that. They're just like, there was a security breach. Because when she fled like a little girl...
There was no security breach.
through the big gaping hole in the top of the temple, for some reason, it was because they had that, like, security breach, blah, 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 blah. So that's why...
Yeah.
May took off.
So this time, May needs no distraction.
You ever sit there and go, man, this is how cocky Jedis are. Like, they just, hey, you know what? I want a skylight, but I don't even want to, actual glass over it.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
I just want, like...
He's like,
a sky ceiling, or whatever you want to call it.
I've been meditating for 10 years. I need some sun. I don't care. Security be damned. I need this just massive hole in the ceiling. But
sir, don't you think that's a security risk?
I mean, anybody. I mean, even pigeons. No. I don't care about the dust coming in. No, forget about the elements because that's got to be crappy. Like it starts raining. I guess they have no way of closing that because
Hey man, that's like when you're building your chi. You sit under the waterfalls in the anime comics and movies. Fuck. Here we go.
So then the Jedi that are trying to pursue May, they show up at the same time May's trying to kill this guy. She just gets there a little early.
For the second time.
The second time here. So this time May comes in through the skylight, it looks like. Finds him.
Because she didn't have to, bribe a kid again.
Yeah. And while she's doing this, she's talking to him, and she's like, I got business to settle with you. You know what you did. I'm here to forgive you. Did she say I forgive you?
Wait, did I say that she did research on the security? Obviously she didn't, because I guess one of the things you would have found out right away is
a big gaping
there's a huge hole in the top. Maybe I don't have to pay this kid. I could just jump down there. And not only that, but then she wouldn't have even been detected because she wasn't detected during the day.
I mean, you can go in the front door, you can go in the back or whatever.
But she hired
she went for the front door.
She hired a little girl to do distraction again, and so while she's sneaking in doing that, the other Jedi are in the front, and that's where we come to the Padawan who's coming out, dragging the kid with him.
Tubby one Kenobi.
That's
a good one. I like that one.
And then showing that the kind of like the Jedi are not as peaceful as we see them in the other ones. They're kind of dragging this girl along, and it's like, who did it? And she points to Osha, and she's like, she's the one who paid me. So again, kind of pointing out, what the hell's going on. They look exactly alike.
But the Jedi is definitely manhandling the hell out of this kid. Not what I would call Jedi behavior, but I guess that's what they're going for.
We don't know what they were doing 100 years before what we saw.
Yeah, I guess that's what they're going for.
They're establishing that the Jedi are kind of
assholes.
Dicks.
Yeah, pretty much.
There you go.
Good cop, bad cop. I mean, Sol's the good cop, and everyone else is kind of an asshole.
They want to talk to this Jedi, even though they're he hasn't talked to anybody in 10 years. He's been meditating forever. He pisses and shits, into his robe, so you really don't want to go in there. It smells pretty bad.
It's all recycled. But I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe the Jedi Masters are the cops, and then this guy is the mall cop. The guy is I'm kind of a Jedi, but I aspire to be a master.
Oh, that's what all the knights are.
Yeah,
dude.
the Tubby one Kenobi.
That's why all the knights are fucking assholes.
Yeah,
because they're all fucking mall cops.
He's Paul Blart.
They're all Paul Blart.
Yeah, so the knights are Paul Blart, and then the actual masters are we became cops. Oh my god! I mean, don't pay attention to that knight. Yeah. He thinks he's a master. just listen to him. I mean, humor him. We're quote unquote on the same.
So this is my favorite part. They're hey, we need to talk to him. We need to talk to him right away. the Jedi starts leading them, and then while he's doing that, Osha gets a vision of her sister or a little image, and she's like, oh, follows him off to the stairs.
Up the stairs!
So she goes up the stairs and all that, and evidently this Jedi was like, I'm going to take you on the scenic route and show you everything.
Yeah, but luckily our Lord and Savior decided to follow.
Actually, this was the only... That was the only useful part that he had in this.
Well, but did he even tell the truth? Because he's like, I had my eyes on her the whole time. But did he? Maybe he was like, got lost in the stairwell. It's Yord.
Let's get to what happens first.
We can't assume that, but I mean, story-wise.
So when we get there,
story-wise,
so now we believe Yord.
Story-wise, he probably was
so
behind her.
So before he gets there, May talks this Jedi who's got a lot of quit in him, this Tobin.
Yeah.
Talks him into, hey, whatever you did, this. I'm guessing this deals with the past because it seems like all 4 of these Jedi she's chasing deal with the something that happened with her village 16 years ago when her sister joined the Jedi Order.
Before they both died, apparently,
and convinces him.
I jumped ahead a little bit.
She convinces him to take a poison.
You know what? I bet you it is.
Hold on, remember.
Oh, okay, later. I'm sorry.
But convinces Tobin to take the poison, so he willingly just says, you know what? I'm guilty as fuck. I'm taking this shit. Drinks the poison, kills himself. And
just does it. Like,
yeah.
You know what?
He's like, yeah, you know what? Fuck life. Bam.
But no, that's like...
Why would you meditate for 10 years and then just be like, man...
I mean, think about it.
Really wish I could kill myself. If only I had the means and opportunity. Oh, wait. I do have this lightsaber right now.
I mean, if we're going to, like... That's probably what he's been meditating on. Whatever happened in the past.
Yeah.
I mean, really, from a
semi-spoiler. I don't know if it's even a spoiler.
Well, we're doing spoilers all the way. Go ahead.
But prediction-ish, it's not too much of a leap, I think.
Something happened.
Since it gets established that May is basically going after the 4 Jedi who were stationed on their planet when whatever this catastrophic event happened. I'm assuming because if you look. He has a scar on his face. My prediction
is... Which one? He does?
Yeah. My prediction is that the scar happens to him, he loses his cool, maybe kills the mother or one of the family members. And
the mother or the mother, I guess.
Yeah, the mother or the mother. And then and that's why we have a Sith Lord that may or may not be the mother.
No, I don't think that one.
I'm pretty sure one of the mothers is a Sith Lord.
They're probably both dead.
But that's probably why they became a Sith Lord, is he probably killed one of them and then regrets it. And that's why she's like, I know you're guilty. Here, take this. It'll ease your guilt because you probably killed one.
The Anakin Padme thing.
Yes.
Like, they fell in love. They had kids somehow or something. Yeah. And
that apparently that gets explained in episode 3.
I mean,
I haven't. Well, obviously we haven't seen it, but
we might.
I've heard
if
some
you're
things.
Free next week, we might delve into it then, because evidently this is supposed to be pretty big, from what I hear.
Yeah. So if you guys want to do this again, I'm off next weekend. So if you want to delve in this on episode 3, we can do a standalone. I'm okay with that.
If you're fine with picking me up again, or we can come to my house.
I'm good.
But
so no one has to pick me up.
Yeah. So my thing is, I'm pretty sure he's got the scar. They probably
my car was stolen.
Like you said, if he does come back for like a flashback, which is probably going to be the next episode.
From what I hear,
he probably doesn't have the scar, which is obviously makeup. And he's probably younger, and he probably kills one of the mothers. And that's why... Well, no, because they're both alive. They're twins. Even though Saul saw...
What's... Okay.
Yeah, I think he was just saying that.
Right, so
do you think Saul's like lying?
Yeah.
Like he really didn't see May die?
He knows he has guilt. I don't know. Maybe something happened.
That's why he took the other one in.
Something happened with fire. We know something happened with fire. Her village was burning. From the way he explains it, I believe in here, was that Osha mentions that her sister May killed her family, and I think the village burned with a fire, and I believe it was the twin sister is what they mentioned.
Oh, that's right. There's that part too. I forget about that one.
Here's some speculation here. He kills the mom, feels guilty. May catches him and tries to burn him alive inside of the house, and that's what spawns the fire.
But they're both
May started the fire. We know that
they're both force sensitive.
May and Osha
are force users.
Well, like I said,
We'll go a little bit more into those, anyways.
Okay,
but
well, yeah,
anyways,
but I mean,
moment,
if we're doing predictions,
yeah,
I mean, I think they took her.
Which her? Osha.
Osha.
Me? Okay, yes. Oh, the Jedi took Osha.
I think they originally
Took me.
I originally think they came for Osha. And you know how when they come for some,
they take the force sensitive children.
Yeah. To raise them.
The Child Protective Services.
Well, yeah, pretty much they're Child Protective Services.
So basically, the Jedi probably came to acquire the children.
They didn't want to let them go. Also, what you're saying,
he's probably like, well, no, they have to come, and the mom's like, no, and then he's just like, whoa, like things escalate, and that's why at the beginning of the first episode, May's like, we all know, the Jedi only pull out their lightsabers if they intend to kill.
Yeah.
So he probably whipped out the lightsaber to defend and like maybe deter them from creating a scene, and then accidentally kills one of the moms.
I mean, or he may have just been a stronger.
And then
I think they may have been
pissed and
but
like
I think
somehow starts a
like
fire.
how we're talking about. I think they may have been Jedi who fell in love and raised children.
Well, yeah. So yeah, the two moms are probably Jedi.
Yes.
And then one turns to the dark side because of the events.
Or at the very least, force sensitive. They're force sensitive for sure.
And then, but no, it would make sense that if, like you said, there's two moms. It would make sense that if she's the Sith, she's Darth Raven. Because I think for the High Society, the main bad character is like Darth Raven.
Okay.
And who's a female, and that would make sense if it is Darth Raven, and that's yeah.
So
without even knowing the lore, you're welcome, folks. I'm available for consultation.
The master kills.
I read synopsis.
The master kills himself.
Thank you, Cliff.
Master kills himself.
Mm-hmm.
Osha walks in, picks up the poison, starts like touching his face and shit, and being like, "I want to make sure I get all my DNA over this guy." So there's a because whatever route she took, she beat everybody else to the sea.
Actually, if you're twins, it doesn't matter. I don't think DNA.
Oh, you might be right. You might be right.
Yeah.
But either way, she beats him there. She beats everyone there, and it's like, what the fuck? It's like, what was the Jedi taking you on the scenic route to get here? But everybody's like, well, you better fucking explain. And Yord steps out from behind the curtain. He's like, I saw her. She didn't kill her. We're good.
Actually, that's weird that
or kill him
because they did I guess take a scenic route.
Well, they had to because they demanded to see him.
We need to see him right away.
And they took him the long way, and this chick just went and took a right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because her sister was like, this way!
Cut through the middle of the building.
Yeah.
And by the way, she was technically killing them while they're walking in this damn
building. And not only that, beat them quite handedly. It wasn't like she barely got there before they did. She had time to...
Got there, saw the poison bottle, saw him, touched him, did all that shit, and immediately like, I know this looks bad. And then eventually Yord comes out, right behind the curtain right away, and he's like, No, she didn't do it. I saw her.
Yeah, nothing like having the most incompetent person say, "Oh no, trust me, she didn't do it." It's like, "Oh, Yord, cuff her."
But they're able to, after this, they're able to narrow down the poison. There's only one apothecary, and not only that, the guy who's there isn't even the actual guy who runs that shop. So in this small town, they're like, that's kind of weird. So they corner him. Now, not before that, Yord presents a plan. And
they're like, hey, who's that guy?
Oh, well, poor Yord again.
The young Padawan shoots his plan down. He's like, hey, how about I go over there, we set up a perimeter, I go in, I investigate him. If he doesn't talk, I'll stun him if I need to.
Yeah, with the gun.
How about you don't and say you did?
And then that's
which is basically what Jackie. Yeah.
She comes in, she's like, okay, retard, we can do it that way, like a dumbass, or we got this person who looks exactly like the assassin. We send her in there to talk, get the information and all that. And then that's when Soul is like, yeah, that's actually a better idea.
What? Maybe we haven't thought about this.
Soul is just like, oh yeah,
maybe we haven't
someone who's not inept.
Maybe we haven't thought of it like this, but maybe Yord is just stupid in love with Mare or Osha, and that's why he's dumb.
Well,
I mean, I've done some dumb shit for some.
But Osha has quit the order for several years now. It's not like it because she missed his knighthood, which was 2 years.
They were children. My childhood love.
Now it happens.
My childhood friend.
I'm pretty sure she mentions it, but
My childhood friend.
No, but the Jedi don't believe in love. They can't love anyone. They can't have any worldly attachments.
But
I really want to get to the fight.
But first, remember they set up the perimeter.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, we got this. So we're gonna send in Twin
Osha
to go in, pretend like she's me, and she's gonna extract all this information from this guy. And I like how, I think this is the only time that Soul just didn't really like sell the one line. I know it's nitpicking. I love his performance. Like I said, he is the sole reason that the show is good. Yes, pun heavily intended. But this is the one where they're like, oh yeah, we're going to put this really huge thing on your jacket. It's going to be Pip. And Pip's going to record everything. It's not going to look inconspicuous at all. It's just this big bulging thing. But
why?
She does
okay.
I did not notice it.
I didn't notice it.
She buys the
I didn't
carpet.
I didn't notice that.
I think that's your autism of noticing detailed things.
No shit, like very detailed.
But
he's even saying she buys a thing to cover him.
And she buys the carpet to cover it up, but it's still noticeable. I was able to notice it. But anywho,
Jesus Christ.
So she goes in, doesn't affect the audio at all.
Hold on, time out. You get up. Actually.
Well, so actually with cloth in between the microphone, it acts as a filter. So nothing they say is actually really that audible. And any movement she makes rubs against the microphone, so it negates about 35% of the conversation.
That's not true. That's a wire. That's basically what they did. Oh my God, you're right. This is a cop procedural.
Yeah, it is.
There's a she's wearing a wire.
Are you kidding me? In the Soul fight, the ghetto bird, they had it out to catch her. They were like, "Stop! In the name of the Republic."
Oh my God, this is a
bad boys. What you want? What you gonna do?
Wow.
So she goes in wearing the wire.
Oh, but yeah, that's.
And like I said, the only line that Soul ever flubs is like. They're getting information and they're about to go. Okay, he admits that he provided the poison. Let's go.
He's like, wait.
Hold on. Wait. Let's go.
No, he was.
He
waits.
He will be proud of you. And he was like, there is somebody else involved.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, he told him, "Hold on, let's get some more information." And then 2 seconds later, all right, we're good. All right, let's go. Now we're going.
Now he, I guess, has confirmation that there is a third conspirator. That's
right, but instead of like pressing the matter and finding out more about who
conspirator
is,
I know.
Well, but
at that time her cover was blown. By the time.
Even then, you can't press anymore because you press anymore, then you don't know who he is.
Right, which is fine. I get that, but like I said, I think that's the only line that I ever had any problem with Saul delivering. Other than that, this guy rocking. Like I said, this guy is after learning English in a month, Jesus.
That's impressive. So
I don't know if it was a month, and I don't know if it was 6 months. It's like some.
Whatever.
It's like some.
Dude, English is the hardest language to learn.
Yeah, because BITCH, bitch, BEACH, beach. I mean, it's almost the same word, but different vowels.
Well, see, because everybody always remembers I before E, except after C, but they don't remember the other 13.
But we finally get to our favorite part, I think, for all of us here. For me, the whole series. I think this was the best fight.
Oh, wait. Well,
yeah, but so far.
Before the best fight, before the best part, we did have our Jordan Savior go all trigger happy for absolutely no reason.
Oh, he went in there.
He went in there. They go to confront the apothecary, and they're just like, "Hey, how's it going?" And it was like that stupid rookie cop with the gun. Freeze! Freeze! Everybody else is calm.
And he's like, "Go for the lightsaber." He's like, "Give me a reason. Give me a reason."
Come on, man.
You don't want to do this.
Give me a reason. Move. Do something. I got you covered. Don't worry, Soul. I got your back. Wakanda forever.
Your ass is mine.
Your ass is mine.
Your ass is mine.
But yeah, but yes, the fight was awesome. But that was the one thing.
Well, okay, hold on. Before that though, there was one thing. Soul comes in, he starts interrogating the guy now. Hey, look, we got you. We know the poison and all that. And he's like, look, we'll let you off with a warning if you give us information on this. I'm like, what the fuck? He ate it in a fucking murder? And you're like, yeah, we'll let you off with a warning.
Well, and then that's where I get the cop vibe from. I'm just like, look, that's all that was missing.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, look,
this is my CI.
We got you for aiding and abetting, but I'll tell you what, this is what we're gonna do. So I've been talking to my lawyers.
That does not look like Little Wolverine X-23 at all.
Yeah, It is.
That's crazy. Fucking make up some motherfucker. One way or the other, I guess.
So the fight scene. So did you guys like it?
I loved it, man. I thought this was my favorite.
Again, I think this is the best fighting I've seen in a while in any Star Wars program.
See, look, I just watched Ahsoka today, so I could get caught up.
That fight with Darth Vader.
In a while.
Did you see the Obi-Wan Darth Vader fight?
How long ago was that?
But that was pretty good. That was pretty. No, don't get me wrong. That one got me pumped, and this one was a good fight. This one.
Oh, Ahsoka.
This one sold.
Yeah, I guess
Mandalorian.
So this
one, Boba.
No.
With those stupid freaking
no.
The mods.
It came out. No. It came out before.
Obi-Wan.
I think Obi-Wan came out before.
Obi-Wan,
it was close.
First.
It was one of those two. Yeah.
Well, Obi-Wan or Mandalorian, I can't remember, but
no,
Obi-Wan was first.
And then Book of Boba.
No.
Oh yeah, Obi-Wan came out before Book of Boba.
No, it did not.
I'm pretty sure it did.
No, it didn't.
They were really close because I remember
internet.
One ended and then the other one started.
He's got the internet.
But you're actually helping my argument in that case.
So, yeah, but no, I am. But
yeah,
I'm fighting a different fucking war now.
I'm going for the truth, man. I'm gonna die on this hill, not that one.
That one's yours.
That one's yours.
Help me remember because we've been drinking. May 27th, 2022 for Obi-Wan.
All right. It was the same year. I'd say July.
Oh, damn.
Or April.
Hold on.
It seems like it was like a month later.
It came out in 2021, so it did come out first. Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Yes. I win. Thank you. I would bow.
You are. I'll attest. He's bowing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not doing it on purpose. I just have a herniated disc.
But I mean, it's been a long while, and not only that, but hey, Obi-Wan had some good fight scenes. This one, it seems like every fight scene is
show
very well choreographed.
Yeah.
Or as they complain,
Obi-Wan
too
choreographed. I don't get that. Oh my god.
But Obi-Wan had the funniest scene ever. How are we gonna get past this gate? Oh, you mean all that open space that's like right around it you can walk around? No. I need to shoot this gate and get it done.
Yeah. Oh no.
But you know what? That's fucking Star Wars, man. That really is.
These are not the droids you're looking
for.
I can't get past this gate, and they're like,
we're looking for those droids.
There's like 700 yards of open space over here you can walk around.
There was that whole bring your daughter to work day for the Empire. Come here, family. Let's go watch this genocide. There's this festival.
But it was like a real thing. I found that comical.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I laughed my ass off when I saw that. I was like, really?
The idea.
You just don't think of it. It's like I can't remember what movie it is, but there's like an executioner and he's bringing his kid with him to the gallows to chop heads off.
History of the World.
Yeah, is that what it was? History of the World. Yeah. Hey, do me a favor.
Part 1.
Well,
not part 2.
Which is great. Yeah. Well, because part 2 had Hitler on ice.
That was funny though.
Yeah, I was like, I really wanted there to be a part 2 just for stuff like that.
And
they finally released one, but it.
Well, but it didn't have Hitler on ice. It didn't have Jews in space. It didn't have. I can't remember what else was in there, but yeah, they had that little teaser at the end of part 1. I was like, I would like a part 2, please. They came out with another one, and I didn't even bother watching it.
Why? It was funny.
All right,
I haven't seen it.
It's funny. It really is. Man, Mel Brooks directed another movie. He's like 95.
All right, we're a few beers in, and Eric, he's been diagnosed with diabetes, so we know he can't drink beers again. So
diabetes.
He's having to drink vodka, keep the sugar to a low. So we're a little in, so the more we drink, the more tangents we go on. But Soul fight, great fight. He shows that he's a master. He dominates the fight. He does everything right. Not only that, he disarms her completely.
I was going to say, that was great.
She goes to reach for her daggers, and he's got like 7 daggers in his hand.
These, but misses
he's like, are you going for this?
Sleeve.
Were you looking for this?
Oh yeah, he did miss the final one up his sleeve. I'm guessing
the one that killed Trinity.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you know, hey, but you know what, Jord, for the first time, useful.
Oh yeah, actually.
And you know what? He might have left it on her anyway.
Well, okay, so this is the one thing, and then I may not have touched on it earlier, but the Jedi use that fucking mind reading like crazy, because when they went in to find out what happened on the prison escape, Soul goes in, deactivates the shield. The guy's like, oh yeah, it was all the Jedi killers.
Clear your mind.
And he's like, clear your mind. What happened? And then he tells him the truth, and he's like, okay, that's fine. Well, he's fighting, and in the middle of fighting May, he has her. Bam! He does this move where he's gonna fucking throw her on the ground,
and he stops her from falling.
You know, judo, man. You throw somebody on the ground and they hit their head, they're fucked, man. So, but he stops her with a force. He goes up to her and he was like, because he's trying to find out the identity of the master, and he goes, "You can't you wouldn't be able to tell me the identity of the master even if you wanted to, because he's been careful to keep it a secret." At that point, May's like, "Get out of my mind!" And I'm like, "Holy shit, man!" They're like, their first move is like force read.
No, but you know what? No, not even that. Like, think about it. The whole time he's been fighting her, he's technically been like fucking trying to read her mind.
Yeah.
Now the thing that I don't get is
that's how strong he probably is, though.
The thing I don't get is the Jeckie support. I mean, like you said, you know, you get the ghetto bird up in the air. Now, I get that
she's piloting the ship, and so in the fight, when it looks like everything's in hand, Soul has got everything stopped. She's on her own.
They have the comical moment again where she looks down at the sand, looks up.
Well, but before that, she tries to kill, like, while they're talking, she tries to kill Saul. She has her hidden dagger thing, and right when she goes to throw it, this time, Jordan's looking, and as soon as she throws that dagger, he fucking force pulls that thing right into his hand.
And
like,
of course,
fuck you.
The first thing that came to my mind was Men in Tights. Heard it a mile away. Who said that?
Oh my god! If you autistic motherfucker, if you look at everything that fucking lens, I mean, that was his one good moment.
Well, yeah, no. But just like Blinken had his one good moment. He was a comic relief the entire thing, and then when they try to shoot Robin in the heart, catches the arrow.
Holy shit!
It a mile away.
But yeah, so
good job.
So we have this set up. So they have her cornered. We got Yord finally gets on the ground with Soul. They have her pinned. They have the ship come in from the top, and they're like, "All right, we're gonna shut her down. We've got you. Go ahead and surrender. We have you. We have 2 Force people who can bring you in, who can freeze you, do whatever, and then you can go ahead and take it away, Martin. Take it away.
Yeah. So they've got surrounded. And then they have that silly little moment where she sees the spaceship ahead or up above with the spotlight, just like, you know, the ghetto bird that we always see on the south side or west side or east side. Oh, damn. Or north side.
You know, I mean...
but clearly surrounded, all is lost. And then we have the same thing we saw in episode 1. She looks at the ground, sees a little dirt moving, looks up. Oh god, ninja vanish. Dust everywhere.
Hey, it was a smart move.
Oh yeah, because it's a galaxy far, far away a long time ago where I guess infrared didn't exist, even though we see it in Empire Strikes Back when they're on Hoth.
You gotta switch it back, and she's a fucking Force user. I mean, she's gonna be out of there in seconds.
She's in a spaceship.
She does that. I mean, she's not just... switch to infrared. Oh, she's gone.
Yeah, I've got eyes on the target. Oh, sand. Ah, damn, I didn't think about, like, looking at infrared. Oh, well. I guess, we'll see you later.
I'm
not even going to try and look at surrounding alleys and see someone running away.
But here's the thing, though. They had the help of a Jedi temple that was there.
And that's only one aspect.
They had Jedi there.
More than 3
what you think
they could have utilized.
My whole thing was...
Tubby-Wan Kenobi could have been there.
You think Tubby-Wan Kenobi was going to do anything?
Although I will admit that was one of a funny part, too.
That motherfucker didn't look like he was...
He was basically
he could chase his like a fucking Snickers.
Watching a fat cop chase like this athletic person.
That was the silliest thing. Where'd she go? Where'd she go? I mean, he's literally watching the shop, and then all of a sudden, I want to say it was for lunch or something, but he gets distracted. Okay. I know I'm being an asshole, but he gets distracted, and all of a sudden he looks back up.
And so May gets away, and then she's about to leave, and while she's leaving, she runs into her sister Osha, who wasn't there at the fight because they didn't want her there.
And she's about to light her up.
And because Soul had even talked to her, because with Osha, he's like, I didn't know you, because Osha hates her sister, because she says her sister killed her family, and he's about to, and she wants to fucking kill her, basically. She's like, I need to be there. I want justice. And he's
you
like,
want revenge.
And that's when Soul's like, you don't want justice, you want revenge. And so this is the thing. You still haven't seen both of them together where everybody else can see them. Now, I don't think they have too many things going on unless it's some sort of force thing. I don't think it's like a what's that? Fight Club. I don't think it's like a Fight Club.
But not even close.
At first, I thought maybe that was a possibility, but then when stuff started happening while she was in the presence of other people, unless it's some sort of force thing and they pull this Fight Club thing, I was like, okay, it's not like a Tyler Durden and the narrator kind of thing. But it was like, okay, but she sees her sister. She has a chance to stop her, but
I saw that. I saw that movie 100 times.
Yeah.
And I didn't pick up until like about at least the 10th time that I saw that movie that the narrator Ned doesn't actually have a name.
What
he does?
He does?
Yes, Jack.
No.
Yeah. I am Jack Spleen.
No,
Jack.
that was the book.
But they never name him though.
Yeah, they say narrator, but it's Jack.
No, it's not, because that's the books.
That's what I thought. And I watched a couple of movies.
That's the books.
Or not movies.
The most interesting. No.
Nah, fuck the internet. Fuck YouTube.
No. But the most interesting one.
We're all idiots on YouTube.
The most interesting one I saw was they said the girlfriend was also one of his personalities.
No, she's not.
Yeah, think about it.
I'll see if I can find the video. Somebody makes a good argument on that.
Yeah, good case.
Except for at the end where she goes, "What the fuck?"
But is she there?
So the thought is
yeah.
But here's the thing. The thought is that he has 3 personalities that are swarming around in his brain. One wants to kill the other. Basically, Tyler Durden wants to kill the girlfriend personality. And
no, she doesn't. No, he doesn't.
Well, he doesn't like her very much.
He doesn't like her.
Well, he has her tied up.
No, he doesn't.
Kill her at the end.
No, he doesn't. Well, yeah, but he's using her.
But that's love.
No, but he's just Tyler doesn't. Tyler
when
Durden
you love
doesn't
someone,
get.
you tie them
Tyler
up
Durden
and hold them
doesn't give a fuck.
hostage.
I mean, this is neither here nor there. But Tyler Durden won't give a fuck.
We'll get to that later. We'll get to that later. I know.
Right.
That's
Another
our
episode,
tangents.
another
That's in our
episode.
tangents. All right.
Yeah.
We'll do a deep dive on. No, we won't.
No, we won't.
Why?
That's
I love that
huge
movie.
rabbit hole, man.
I love that
Such
movie.
a huge rabbit
Like
hole.
when I say I've seen that motherfucker 20 times, I've seen that
consider it.
motherfucker 20 times.
We'll think about it. We'll think about it. But all right. So
when I flew into Boston, I had a drink, and that was from there.
Okay, so we have. All right, so
We got cops with the 5-0 in the air.
But this time they gave a civilian a gun, and they were like, "Go ahead, take her in."
We got the point blank scene.
We get from Super Fuzz or Bad Boys, depending on which movie you want to.
No. It was Point Break. Point Break.
Oh yeah, shoot in the air.
Yeah, Keanu Reeves,
Miss
baby.
him.
Where he confirms that Patrick Swayze is Ronald Reagan, and then he's got him dead to rights, and then
But yeah, basically, Osha knows that it's her sister.
So
she has a chance to shoot her with a stun gun, take her in, but she misses, and I think it looks intentional.
It ain't a stun gun. It ain't intentional.
That was a stun gun?
The ones with the circles, those are stun guns.
Yeah,
that blew up a goddamn sign.
They gave it to her for the sting operation. You know how to
Works
use one
different
of
on
these,
human
right?
chemistry.
She used to be a Jedi, so yeah, she knows how to use it. So they established competence with the weapon early on when Soul is equipping her with the stun gun. Because if he doesn't cooperate, she's supposed to stun him.
But what's a stun? What's a stun gun? Or what's any kind of like?
Dude, did you see the radius of that stun gun? It was like
No, I saw that. But I mean, what's that gonna do?
10 feet by 10 feet. It was supposed to stun her.
But what's that gonna do against a person that's like a force user? She's not even force sensitive. She's just a force user.
I think, despite if you're force sensitive, if you get hit with a stun gun, it still affects you.
Yeah, if you get hit. I mean, are you gonna let yourself get hit or be like, Fuck off.
Well, she didn't move.
She didn't move, did she?
No, she sat in the car.
She was like...
Or not car, but whatever you want to call it. Hovercraft or speeder. Or that car that she hijacked out of that poor alien. That poor alien where she was just like...
Carjacking.
She carjacked him.
She carjacked him.
She carjacked that motherfucker.
He's like,
he runs
I'm so
her
sorry,
over.
I hit
are
you.
You okay?
Get the fuck out of the car, old
Gotcha,
man.
bitch. That's all I thought of Dave Chappelle. Gotcha,
bitch.
And then she just sat there like the end of Fast and the Furious with Vin Diesel, just like, yeah.
So, okay, she gets away.
Stationary target.
She
Clearly
gets away.
the person who was trained with this weapon can't use it.
Obi-Wan Kenobi is keeping an eye on the apothecary guy.
Yep.
But they haven't actually brought this guy in. But he gets distracted by some female Jedi who comes to talk to him. And
it was food.
Yeah.
It was a food cart.
They're like, we're doing a Sizzler run. Did you want to go with us or whatever? And so he gets distracted. He starts talking.
Or his Grubhub showed up and he's like, oh.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but if you saw that they were talking to that, her little compatriot, May's compatriot, that Quimir or whatever.
Yeah.
Who's that?
This guy.
The
Filipino-Canadian...
The guy I thought that was Mexican.
Yeah, the apothecarian.
Okay.
So she talked.
I thought she was about people.
So she goes to. So May goes to kill this guy, and I'm not sure if you noticed, but when she goes to kill him, this guy fucking dodges her moves like they're nothing. He's like, oh,
yep.
Gets it, puts her dagger, reverses it on her.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
And it was like
basically showing he's more advanced than she is, but for some reason, she has the mission to kill these 4 Jedi. Which brought all sorts of questions to me because I'm like,
So, and basically,
easily, it wasn't even like he tried. He didn't even look like the Jedi. He was just kind of like,
He did. It looked like he took her down with ease, and reversed it on her.
Yeah, I found that interesting actually.
Like
the way he turned the knife back on her
too.
too.
For me, that was an interesting moment. I was like, okay, what's going on here? And basically tells her, hey, look, there's a shit ton of Jedi all over the place. And she's like, yeah, I know. He's like, but I know where the 3rd target is. We can get the 3rd Jedi.
And I can get you on a ship, magically.
And they're like, okay, let's do it. So they're going to go off and do that.
Despite being on a planet where all the Jedi are there, and they're on high alert, but he has a secret way. Because I say it's a secret way, and it's just going to happen.
I mean, criminals are criminals.
Let it happen.
What do you mean?
Well, okay.
I mean, criminals are criminals.
That aside... Soul, and this is the point. This is the one I had an issue with. Soul calls the Jedi Council, and he calls Vanessa, and he's like, "Hey, Vanessa."
Oh, I'm sorry,
Sounds like Destro. It's like Destro and Vanessa had a child.
Vinny.
Vin.
No, Vinny. Hey.
Her name is Vanessa in my mind too.
Yeah, we'll call her Vanessa. We're just gonna call her Vanessa. So he calls Vanessa up, and he's like, "Hey, look, we know where the basically the last target, because we know Soul is probably the other target because he was there that day that everybody died. The first 2 Jedi are dead.
But we know where the
Trinity and young old beard guy or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so Tobin. And so they're
Suicidal
like, okay, so there's
tendencies.
only one other one who's unaccounted for because Soul's already got Jedi with him. So it's like, all right, they're going to go after there's a Wookiee Jedi, which sounds cool, but I'm down for that. I want to see a Wookiee like rip off some people's arm with the Force.
I mean,
well, okay, but they know, but they know where it is, and this is when Vanessa was like, no, you can't go right there. We need you to come back to the council because we need to discuss what to do next.
Fuck you, Vanessa.
Well,
we gotta go.
Like I
we
said,
gotta go.
We get back to it because
bag that table. We gotta go.
Beginning of the episode. Yeah, that sounds like a great plan. Go ahead, do it. And now all of a sudden, that sounds like a great plan.
No, we need to
crap.
Strategize.
We need to strategize. Come on back to Coruscant.
They're like the corporation. Like we need to talk about synergy and all that and how this affects us. So why don't you come on back? We'll discuss a plan of attack. And
it makes sense because of what they wore.
Which I feel bad because
my whole thing is, can we at least go get the Wookiee? Bring the Wookiee with us, and then we can all talk about, or send somebody out to the fucking. But we don't know. They might do that.
I mean, we don't know because He's a Jedi Master anyway.
Well, no, because story has to happen.
But the Wookiee, basically the end of the episode is they show the Wookiee. There are these two raiders going onto a ship, and the Wookiee, like, I don't know what, pulls their guns.
Pulls the guns, yeah.
And then, like, I don't know, beats them. And they run off. They're scared.
Yeah,
they run off.
Like, holy crap, I don't have a
ends.
weapon anymore.
So, for me, I wish these episodes were a little bit longer. Because they're like 30-minute episodes.
What are you talking about? 30 minutes with 10 minutes of credits and 2 minutes of intro?
Yeah, they're 30 minutes.
I think if you take out the credit times, I think one of them is like 31 minutes, the other one was like 33 or something like that. And the way they cut them off, it's just like, I get it. It's almost like it's a movie. They just cut it off in the middle.
It's like
I wish they were long. If they were just a little bit longer, I think they could get more into
There's a whole lot of I wish on that one. I mean, yeah, I wish it were longer. I wish it was better storytelling.
But
I wish it was...
either way, but that's pretty much the breakdown.
Seriously, like you were into the storytelling like 5 minutes ago, and all of a sudden you're not.
I'm just saying that, like I said, when you suspend disbelief once...
Oh my God, you're trying to suspend disbelief in a fucking vacuum of space. Fucking nerd.
Yord, our Yord Savior.
That's what nerds do.
That's a different thing.
Oh,
But-
no, so
okay.
he's supposed to be totally incompetent and all of a sudden pulls that one move off?
I mean, they're like,
Hey,
my
let's go see the Jedi.
my uncle's-
Here's some tapestries from early
my uncle's a cop.
war.
He knows plenty of fucking
We're almost there. Don't worry. Hold on. Here's the cafeteria. They have some great food.
Like I said, my uncle's a cop. He knows plenty of incompetent cops. Guess what? This is a cop procedural.
Yeah, but
there you go.
not just Yord. I mean, it's just like I said, there comes a point where you suspend disbelief, but you do it too much, and all of a sudden it's like, well, when does it become silly?
So here are my things. Since we've gone over everything now, I really wish, because I think the way she acted, she did it very well. I really wish they would have stretched out Carrie-Anne Moss. Now, I hear there's going to be a flashback episode, like I said, the next one. She's going to be in that one, so she's going to have more time. But I think I thought she was a good prominent character. I would have liked to see more of her.
Well, no, she's going to be back because she got killed, and she's trying to kill the 4 Jedi that were there. So, of course, we're going to see. But it's probably going to be in a bad light, and it's going to be like an aggressive whatever, which is going to justify the kill.
We don't know about that, but like I said,
possibly
for me, as far as like the things that would have made this a little more interesting.
Well, she's on the poster. Why would you put a poster on someone who dies in the first 2 minutes?
Scream.
Yeah.
Drew Barry.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Drew Barrymore.
No, I get it.
That Drew Barrymore.
Do you want to put the big names? But I think if she was in it a little bit more, because she's a good actress. She is a good actress. I think if they would have extended her role, maybe just
like
a little bit more.
her and Jessica Jones.
Dude, anything she's in.
Being a bitch
Even
lawyer,
and then cancer-ridden, and I mean, it didn't matter what they did with her. She was amazing, no matter what.
She is so for me, the shows that really draw me in, pull me in, they're character-driven stories, and I think for this one, it's a little bit lacking so far. So we'll see how time goes on. But you look at something like One Piece or whatever.
Yeah, but think about it. When we watch these shows, even anime, we watch them in big dumps. A lot of them.
Yeah.
And we watch them in big dumps because, like, before we had streaming, we bought the DVDs. And we watched, like, fucking, 12 episodes at a time. All of a sudden, we're into this shit.
Yeah.
Like, before the Disney model, which is... we're giving you an episode a week.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Everybody would just go to the Netflix model, which was what? One big dump.
Yeah.
All 12 episodes right here, right now. Fucking spend 12 hours of your day sitting in front of this fucking TV. And now that they've gone away from that, I think more people have been like, oh man, this sucks. I don't know what's happening. And that's like that microwave fucking mentality. You want it right here, right now.
Well, see,
but technically they conditioned us to be right here, right now.
So
they really did.
Yeah, and then this becomes the binge model versus weekly release. Weekly release lets you think about the show more. It stays in your mind. It keeps everybody talking about it for longer. Now, the only problem is there's a lot of fans. There's a lot of fans. We're kind of done with Star Wars. They're like, I'm not feeling it anymore.
Well,
which is the unfortunate thing.
Well, fine, be done. Fuck off. just like Eric Kripke, like this week told the people that like are fans of the boys that like thought Homelander was like the fucking hero. I don't know how you fucking think that, but I mean, Jesus Christ, fuck off. You don't like it? Watch something
red,
else.
White, and blue. It's true.
Yeah. Well, I can't remember. I can't remember what who the author was that said, but like fucking fascism will come bearing a red, white, and blue cape and fucking a Bible.
Yeah. Well,
and it's technically true.
Possibly true.
No, it's more than likely true.
There you go. But I don't know. I mean, like you said, story. The only problem is the story's gripping, but a lot of it has to do with what I think is coming, not what is being presented. What is being presented is different than what I'm expecting or might happen.
Well, but that's what's good about like fucking weekly releases.
That's no like fault for the
like
show
said,
because it's only 2 episodes.
There are interesting elements here. I think there are interesting elements that if they proceed forward in the right way,
in a good way,
it could be interesting. But
given the taste of the twins thing being here, I'm going to pique your interest. Someone's being accused falsely of a crime. Hey, I just solved it in 10 minutes.
So what do you? Let's do this. Let's get to a complete.
Okay.
What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen?
I already said it. It's like
one
of the mothers.
No. How does it end?
Well, I mean, or even that. Who do you think is? Well, let's start this.
Well, I don't know. Does this thing have more than one season?
That's a good question.
Because I'll tell you how it ends, but if it has more than one season, I'll tell you how it ends if it has just this season.
Because Cliff told me.
So here's one of the things for me. I think they might go in for this. Soul, when he was talking to Osha, he was talking about you have so much hate in you still for revenge and all that. You know that.
Which is probably why
I almost think they're gonna flip the twins because when. Oh, and that was something we mentioned.
God!
Because remember when May she was fighting, she was like, "Osha's dead." No, and they're like, "Osha's alive." And then she didn't believe him. And then all of a sudden, it was like, "What?" And then she sees her, and then she's like, "Osha's alive." So I almost think that Osha hates May so much because she blames her for killing her family that with all that rage and hate, she might switch to the dark side.
The Sith.
And I think May might, in a sense, knowing that her sister's alive now, may not feel the need for that cause anymore. Like, my sister's alive. I don't need this revenge anymore. And I almost feel like it's going to be a flip.
Yeah. Oh. But I don't think they can take her as a Jedi, but she will be a Force-sensitive user that's kind of roaming out there in the universe. But yeah, definitely I think one of the moms dies. That's what causes the trauma.
Yeah.
That's your trigger.
I give you that.
Your reaction is going to wind up being, like I said, the Sith is clearly a female. It sounds like a female. The reason why they keep the Sith so far away is for the big reveal where you're like, what? It's a girl! Oh, I thought the first Sith in thousands of years was going to be a male. Oh, man, I'm surprised. Soul is he's a mystery only because they definitely brought up the hologram for a reason. He's tormented. So here's my prediction. It's gonna suck, but here's my go. I think the reason why they're showing Soul with the hologram because I believe it was May.
Oh, I think it was Osha.
Or
it was
Osha, because tomato, they're twins.
Right.
Could have been either or. But I think what's going to happen is...
I think they were wearing Jedi robes, so I'm going to say it was Osha.
We'll say Osha. But here's the shit part, or crap part, or whatever you want to...
You can say shit.
Yeah, so here's the shit part.
I don't give a fuck.
What's probably going to happen is, yes, there's going to be a flip. It's going to be that May's going to become good, Osha's going to become bad, and guess who's going to wind up killing Osha? Saul. Because he's guilt-ridden.
Yeah.
And what's the worst thing that he could do? The person that he always reminisces about and is like, just to tug on those heartstrings, he's going to wind up having to be the person that kills Osha.
Yeah.
That's my prediction. Wookiee's gonna die, obviously.
Yeah, I
Why
think...
are you killing a Wookiee, dude?
You have to. You progress the story. That way the only person who's available
Soul.
that's supposed to die is Soul. And
now,
Soul is gonna... Osha's gonna take over May's quest to kill the 4 Jedi. And it's gonna pit her against Soul, and Soul's gonna wind up killing her.
So here's the other thing. I think
Soul has to kill one of them.
Yeah.
And it has to be a tragedy.
That sounds interesting.
I think it's going to be a tragedy.
Yeah. Well, what other tragedy than Chris's scenario where they flip off and then he has to kill the person that he puts all his faith in?
I think it's actually. I mean, you know, I like your scenario, but I think it's.
I think Soul kills Osha, and Osha swaps.
So, what do you think about? So, how do you guys feel that there were 4 masters and they already killed 2 of them within 2 episodes?
And there's still 6 episodes left.
And there's 2 more.
And with a junket that's going to be tossed away in episode 3. 3's a flashback. I guarantee you it's going to be a full episode. 3's going to be a flashback.
3's a flashback. 4 is they kill the Wookiee.
Okay, and then
5 is 6, 7, 8.
Well, 5 they probably reveal.
And it's Soul.
That, oh my God! One of the moms is a Sith.
If I'm being honest with you,
right, I think 5 is where maybe we find out who the Sith is.
And if I'm being honest with you, I think Soul dies in 7.
Well, what happens with 8?
Let's go with DraftKings.
Then that leaves one of the twins. Maybe the twins.
One of the twins again, or they fight together against.
So you think that maybe
okay? So here
May goes against Soul, kills Soul, and then Osha has to kill.
Oh, okay, so consider.
No, I think they go against. I think he goes against Darth Raven. He tries to protect the girls.
So okay, here.
And instead of he's trying to protect them, but you know it's a Sith Lord against a Jedi Master. That shit.
All right, so consider this because I was thinking about this. I don't know how this works in because I was thinking of the sequel trilogy. Like Kylo Ren, Rey, how they could communicate with each other and all that. So I thought that in that episode 1, when she was talking to May,
was her talking to her sister.
I thought they both knew each other were alive at that point.
I guess not. It was a one-way dream.
Osha knew that May was alive, but May didn't know that Osha was alive.
Yes.
So I was like, oh, okay. So maybe Osha has some sort of cognitive ability or some sort of psychic.
Well, no, she's a force-sensitive person. She just hasn't used her shit.
I get it, but at the same time, for me, I thought they were communicating to each other. So, for me, the most interesting thing would have been is if she had multiple personalities and did that. The only way that works on this is if it's a false narrative where you can't trust the narrator who's telling the story. And it's like, oh, that didn't actually happen. This happened.
Yeah, but
or she has some sort of ability that allows her to manifest in a second form or whatever.
Well, I mean, she has to manifest a second form because...
Well, because maybe the grief over her sister dying created this second thing that she's able to convert into the Force. But I don't know if that works because we saw in The Last Jedi, the most Luke could do was he could project an image, but he couldn't actually be there physically. So I think that maybe throws that
Which was the worst goddamn fucking way for him to die.
Oh my God, man.
Well, no, okay.
The Last Jedi fucking kills me because I wanted to see Luke kick some ass.
You know what? I hate Rian Johnson. I like all his Knives Out movies.
Yeah.
I've seen all of them. All of 2.
Good.
But I've seen all of them.
But it's a trilogy. It's a trilogy. There's going to be a third one.
I've seen
anticipating.
I've seen his Knives Out movies. Yeah. I fucking love them. I hate what he did with Star Wars. I hate what he did with the way they killed off Luke. Not even in Blaze of Glory. Yeah. It was just fucking... What was that? Seriously.
Now here's the crap thing for our generation. Because I don't know about you, but my thing was like... I always was like, yeah, Luke. Hell yeah. Which is why I was... Dude... One of my cousin passed not in a couple of years past.
No, it was
last year.
Last year.
So one of the things that like one of my favorite memories was we were watching Mandalorian season 2 and we saw that green lightsaber come out. And we both like Trisha, my wife, got pissed because she was like, "Oh my God, I could not enjoy the episode because you and your cousin were fanboying the entire time.
How could you not, though?
Dude, I was...
That's what we've been waiting for like...
So...
30 fucking years?
Much.
35 years?
I know I sound stupid, but I'm literally getting goosebumps right now just recanting and
35 years. That's what I wanted. Like, fucking...
Some glimpse
Force chokes a fucking robot for no reason.
Because
and then, like, stabs it in the face.
To Luke finally graduated and became a Jedi Master, you know, defeating Darth Vader, and then that's it. Story ends. Well, maybe, you know, 8, 9, 10 will have... Oh, nope, nothing. Not a goddamn thing. Mandalorian sneaks in a deep fake of Luke Skywalker.
It's not a deep fake.
Well...
It's Luke Skywalker.
You know what I'm talking about. Mark Hamill deep fake.
Yeah.
And I got goosebumps. Matt and
I love the ending.
It's Hamill's voice.
Shut up.
I loved it.
The minute, boom, and we saw the green, it was like, oh, we get to see Luke be Luke finally. Like, I don't read the books. I don't.
And you know what's funny? It's Luke because he fights ugly through the whole thing. Like just slash, fucking
beat, bitch. Oh,
you know, force drop,
crush, and just
and then bam. And they try to shoot him. I mean, oh my lord.
Matt and I would not shut up. We had to rewatch the episode, which I was okay with. But Trisha was like, but this time, you guys need to shut up because...
Like, it was awesome.
But no.
I was like, you don't understand. I have been waiting to see Luke be a badass.
But, you know, we've been talking about fight choreography all night.
Yeah.
Like, that ugly fight is like the Daredevil fight.
Yeah, it's the Hall.
It's the Hall. Which, Daredevil, the TV series, Daredevil fighting through the Hall, that was fucking Luke. And it was fucking epic. It was great. It was great.
It's the first time you get to see the build-up payoff.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see that in episodes... was
7?
it 8?
7.
It was 8. He dies in 8, doesn't he?
Yeah.
6, 7.
Yeah.
Boy,
or is it,
7 is the Force Awakens.
4, 5,
8
6.
There's a total of 9.
7 is the...
I don't know.
So
which one is it?
So episode 8 is when he dies on the red sand.
Force Awakens. What's the other one? The one I hate.
Salt. That's right. It was Salt.
What's one I hate?
All of them.
8. You hate 8.
You hate 8.
I hate 8. I hate 8.
Yeah.
Everybody.
But most people do. But there are some people like, well,
when I saw Kylo Ren come out there,
it'd be a great story if it wasn't a Star Wars story.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, there's no payoff.
Like, the minute I saw Kylo Ren was like, I'll take care of this myself. And he goes out there, and Luke dodges. I was like, whoa. Here we go.
It's like, he's so good, he doesn't even have to use this fucking lightsaber. And then it's all fucking...
And it's like, it was a puppet show.
And then Luke dies of like a coronary. He's like, all that cholesterol. Shouldn't have drank so much green milk or blue milk.
Me projecting my fucking force across the universe just killed me.
Man, am I tired. Dude, I just feel like a whole lot of quit.
Like, how are you going to do that, man? How are you going to do it that way? Fuck you.
You know... I can die happy knowing that at least there was like 4 minutes of Luke being a badass in Mandalorian. And it sucks that he couldn't even do it in his own movies. It had to be a series. But I'm glad Favreau was like,
I mean,
you know
they weren't his movies, technically.
Well, I know, but it's a story of Luke. It's the hero's journey. 4, 5, and 6. That is Luke's journey.
That's Luke's journey. 4, 5, and 6.
That's the hero's journey.
7, 8, and 9 are not.
It's supposed to be him handing off the torch, and that's what I hate. Is that we missed our childhood, well, at least my childhood hero.
Our childhood.
I think we all liked it.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure. I didn't want to speak for others, but we missed that huge chunk of window where Luke is a badass. All right, so Acolyte. If they go for multiple seasons, you're going to have to kill Saul. Only because then you have the conflict between the two sisters. So what would probably happen is that there will be a flip-flop. There will be a May coming over to the dark side. Mm-hmm. There will be, an Osha coming over to the dark side. A May coming over to the light side. And what's going to wind up happening
is that Saul, like you said, is probably going to wind up taking one for the team, trying to protect the other sister, dies, and now the reason why there's a season 2 is that
the other one,
May is no longer.
The other one,
Osha is no longer satisfied with the death of Saul.
Yeah, May's her actual name.
Osha wants more death of the Jedi, and now May is like, I will avenge Saul, which does bring back into that whole stupid holocron thing, because now it's imagery, because now he had his Padawan. Or I'm assuming it was his. Yeah, it was his Padawan. He
well, I think Osha was his Padawan. The other one.
Yeah, Osha was his Padawan. So now he's killed by his Padawan.
The other one, I guess, was dead. Man, dude.
May he thought was dead.
Yeah, he thought May was dead. So Osha will wind up killing Saul.
May is so pretty.
Because he cannot strike down his own student.
She's pretty.
He cannot strike down his student, so he winds up dying because he can't push himself to that point where he has to kill her, which sucks because the only guiding light in this whole goddamn series is going to wind up dying.
All right. I think we've talked Star Wars enough.